couple of tabs that you can put on your channel or whatever, but they took
What?
Yo, guys, we finally made it live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast, which YouTube made me jump through a few extra hoops. And now, for people who watch Crossfire, you know, last night there were two streams going on Mooch's channel, and I refuse to let that happen here. All right, I know I wouldn't hear the end of it in the DM that I'm in with Mooch, so I did my best, to make sure that I wasn't gonna have two streams going live. And man, YouTube, K-Mega, YouTube, they're trying to make it hard for us up and comers, man. They're really,
oh man, yes they are.
They're really tightening those clasps on us and whatnot, man. But
oh yeah.
Yo, good to see everybody in the chat. What is going on, people? We have a fire show lined up for you today. A lot of topics throughout the week when it comes to gaming news. And I said this last week on Next Podcast. I was like, yo, this is the time. It's a launch year. We're getting closer and closer to the launch. The news just keeps coming and keeps coming. And shout out to Lucifer hitting up the super chat. First into the super chat. Thank you, my brother. He said, super chat hits $25. O-Snaps will taser Xbot live on show. No, dude, I didn't agree to any of that. I did not. Yo, guys, please. I love Lou like a brother, but that is not true. I will not get tased by anybody on purpose for anything.
I was about to hit that button right there. I was like, shit.
No.
Want to support Xbot? Yes. I want to support him so he can get zapped. I want to hear that.
Guys, that is completely not certified by me at all. I'm sorry. Lou, peer pressure is not going to get you anywhere with this, man. I'm telling you. No. O-Snaps was like, oh yeah, by the way, just to let you know, depending on how long the taser stays on you, you could possibly defecate yourself. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm not going to do that at all. Yeah.
Just wear a diaper, man. You'll be all right.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I don't want to electrocute myself for anything, to be really honest with you, bro. But guys, let's get into it. Let's get into the intros. Shout out to the chat. What is going on, everybody? I haven't done it yet, so do it with me, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Share this out on social media. Let people know that we are live right now. And I do have a big announcement, but I'm going to hold that for a little bit. A big change is coming to Next Podcast, but we got to do the intros first. And I'm going to start with an extended family member to Next Podcast. This man has come in the past couple weekends and really kind of helped us out on the panel. Absolutely love that he is one of those people that is not afraid to share his opinions. That's what we like here on Next Podcast. Somebody who is not afraid to share his opinions, and he brings information to back it up. My brother, Dreadpool, what is up, bro?
Nothing's up. How you guys doing? No, I'm fucking with you guys. What's up? How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to help out anytime I can. You know, these guys are my brothers now. I'm glad I've been accepted as family. And dude, you guys got to see these topics. You guys don't know. Ooh, no, you don't know.
Dude, I was hyped when I was typing them out, man. I was like, man, I can't wait to share these with the panel. I think it's gonna go down tonight, man. There's gonna be a lot of different opinions. I think we're gonna have a good show, Dread.
Yes, we will. Oh, we will.
Nice. And on that note, let me go next on the list. He was also the number 2 person to jump into Hangouts. You guys might know him as a hardcore Gears fanatic, and he is, but he also plays other games. Crispy, what is going on, bro?
The bomb is in the building, and we got the topics for you, and I'm ready to roll. Let's do it, babe.
Nice, brother. Yo, shout out to Dragonheart Yobi, going crazy with those member emojis. Guys, seriously consider becoming a member. As you can see, we call it the fam base here. You can see it in the bottom of the screen, of like the gameplay and stuff like that. I want to put more emojis out there. I have a whole set just waiting to be available for members. So definitely consider hitting that join button that is right below the show itself. But on that note, next on the list, he comes from what I think they call it the Lone Star State. Everything is bigger where he lives, and so he must have the biggest PC monitor to game on. Predator, what is going on, bro?
Oh shit, yeah. Not much, man. I can't even follow that up with anything.
It's amazing how true that was, right?
Yeah, it is. Yo, happy to be here, man. Let's get this shit rolling, bro.
Nice, brother. And of course, last but certainly not least, coming live from the 405, my brother who has been here from the beginning, K Mega. What is going on, bro?
What's happening, man? What's going on? Glad to be here as usual. Let's get the party started, man.
Dude, you just sound so comfortable here, man. We've been doing this for like over 3 years or whatnot. It's just like, yeah, it's another episode in. Let's go.
Yeah, let's get to it. I'm and me, of course, I'm over here playing a game. So
as usual,
just go ahead.
Dude,
I'm playing some Battlefield 5. Yeah,
I almost expect that from you now. I have no clue how you can focus on that and still share your opinions on topics, but different people have different talents, man, and you do it well. So I can't really say anything.
Appreciate it.
No doubt. Nobody else on the panel ever try that though. Okay, I appreciate it.
Oops.
Oops. Oh no.
Yeah, right.
I was learning from the best. Are you kidding me?
All right, guys, let's get into the first topic. State of Play just went down. I believe it was on Thursday, so 2 days ago. And, we're not going to go in and do our typical what we thought about the State of Play because according to Sony, there was nothing to see there. It was supposed to be a mainly PS4 event, but surprisingly, because I watched the show, they definitely did have PS5 gameplay. And one of the games that they really went kind of like in depth with, and I'll call it kind of like possibly their supposed gem of the show, was a game called Godfall. And for people who don't know, Godfall is labeled as a looter slasher. And it is a game that when it was first announced, of course, out there on social media, people were saying, "Oh, this is going to be game of the year." That people were grabbing like gameplay that was recorded off a cell phone and saying, "Look, this is next gen." And guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but when you talk about games looking next gen, and I know people are going to put Halo in there, but this is a corridor type game. It is a very linear type game. It's not an open world, and I gotta say, I was not impressed by the visuals, and then not only that, there was parts in it in the gameplay that I was really kind of like scratching my head on. Let's you know what? Let's go with K Mega first. He's been here from the beginning. He deserves to go first on this one. K Mega, did you see the Godfall gameplay?
Yes, I did.
All right, man. You got to tell me because again, people were championing this game as the game. Before Spider-Man Miles Morales was announced, Godfall was the game. It's going to be that AAA banger. It's that next-gen experience. Are they right with that, bro?
No.
All right.
They're not right about that.
Give us your opinions,
they're not right.
man.
Okay, no. It's just, to me, it's one of those things where it's kind of like what you just started off with. It wasn't as impressive. It's better than what we first seen. But overall, the game was just not like overly impressive. It did not scream next gen. The one thing about it, I do like games that has the combat. It seems like it's on that same wavelength of Anthem and maybe like Destiny, something like that. So it's a looter shooter type of thing, but it's with just weapons. But the one thing I didn't like about it was the contact between the person or the whatever the hell that they are.
The
It's the guys in
enemies
the
or
armor. Yeah,
the
no,
heroes?
the heroes.
Okay.
The heroes that impacted when they hit the enemies. It just didn't look. It just didn't have any quality to it. It just seemed like it was a little bit off. There were some cool things that they showed, the little thing with the shield, and then they compared it and looked just like like Kratos was doing with the shield thing in God of War. Um, the world itself looked good. The enemies didn't look all that exciting to me. Um, I don't know, man. It'd be a game that I would play, but it's not a day. It wouldn't be a day one buy for me. It does seem like it's pretty limited too, because one thing that they said with a game like that, you would think that they would have some kind of expansions or things like that, but they kind of said in that little interview that they were
Everything's
having,
in the game.
everything is in the game, and then you won't have no microtransactions, things like that, which is fine.
Hmm.
But that's no expansions. So I mean, you get all of these armors, and then you go through the story, and then that's it. Nothing
K
else.
Mega,
I
what
don't know.
looter
I'm just not
game?
excited about that at all.
K Mega, what looter game do you know does not come with any type of expansions or them putting like more loot in the game? Do you know any that does that everything is just in the game and they never put anything new in there like that?
No, I've never heard of anything like that. There's not one game that's kind of been in this genre where they just didn't add new things. I mean, I don't know. It was just odd. I can't imagine that they wouldn't have any type of new content a year from when that game released.
Yeah,
Because if they
I think
just
they're
don't,
going to, man. Like,
yeah, I think that they just wanted to just present it like to try to let gamers know that you do have a complete story. It's not going to be considered as a game that's going to be continuous all the time to where you never get a true ending. Maybe that's what they were alluding to, but I never really understood that once they brought that point up. But yeah, no, the game just didn't look all that impressive to me. I would play it. It's just that I don't know the arm. It just seems like there's not enough heroes. And I don't know. Was it 3-player co-op? Was it two to 3-player co-op,
Three.
or was it 4-player co-op?
It's
That's the one thing
three-player.
I did. 3-player co-op. I mean, I guess because when you stepping into this, and I know PlayStation's had other co-op games, but I think this is kind of like their beginning of trying to bring a game, especially the way that they're pushing this game into the space of trying to let PlayStation fans know that they're trying to get all into the Xbox space or into the PC space where you can start playing co-op games, and it's not all just about the single experience. But before their first showing, is this what they're trying to do to lure gamers that plays on primarily Xbox or PC? I just don't see it being that game to do that. I don't know. I wasn't thoroughly that much impressed with it, to be honest with you.
I got you. Now, brother. One of the other things that I saw, and as I go down the panel, if you guys saw this as well, definitely, chime in and kind of like put it into your words. But one of the things is probably the most disappointing thing I saw in this is when they were going to fight people. There were points in time where they were walking up to enemies, and the enemies did not even get into a ready stance or anything. They just walked up to him, stood next to him for like a second or two, and then whacked him with their sword. Like, there was no kind of like getting ready. I didn't see the enemy come and jump on the character when it came, within a certain radius or anything like that. Did you see what I'm talking about there, bro?
Yeah, no, that's very accurate with how you described that. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, we know with these type of games that there's enemies that's not that strong. And then you could just kind of go and tear through them, and then you fight a mini boss or something like that, or there'll be hordes of them. But that was another thing too. It just seemed empty. It just seemed like there was a lot of characters on the screen to where you would really notice the fact that their AI was just awful. And then also on top of that, like I said, the hit detection just didn't flow well. It just didn't feel like there was any impact when the sword connected to the enemy. It just seemed generic. It didn't seem like it would be more of a AAA type of feel. So all of that combined, I'm sure that like they said, that the game is in progress, but like I said, for showing it now, and we know that it's going to be coming out here this year. It's going to be pretty much the launch title. People questioning about Halo, they definitely need to be questioning about Godfall, because it just, like I said, wasn't that impressive
Yeah,
to me
and,
at
and
all.
see that's the thing. When it comes down there, I think we've all voiced our opinions and everything when it came to Halo. 343 came out and explained why the game looks the way it does. I think it was yesterday on Twitter again, because I feel like people are kind of like shooting for the moon on what Halo Infinite is going to look like at launch. And I'm like, guys, I think you're going to get the same basic feel, but like the armor and stuff like that is going to be shinier. So when it comes to criticisms like that, like, why can't we talk about Godfall as well? Because I know there's going to be people out there, throwing that Craig meme up and everything like that. But it's like, we're going to be critical of games regardless of platform. And if they have a good showing, we're going to applaud it. If there's things that we see that kind of make us scratch our heads and be like, well, what were the devs thinking? We're going to put that out there as well. So that's what you guys are going to get here. And shout out to Lucifer one more time, hitting up that super chat. He says, so how about Horizon Zero Dud on PC? Yikes. It plays as well as an Xbox gameplay video.
Wow.
#KMega rules.
I love it. I love
That
it.
little jab at the end, man. Yo, Lou, you crazy, bro. You crazy. Dude, I'm gonna go to Dread next on this one. And Dread, unfortunately, with everything that happened with YouTube, I started developing a headache. So while you're talking about what you saw, because you saw the gameplay reveal, right? Dread?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry.
All right, so as you're talking, I got to run downstairs and get 4 ibuprofen before this thing gets so bad that, like, I cut the show early, because that's a huge problem with next podcast. We always cut the show early. So, Dread, go and share your thoughts about Godfall, whether you liked it or you hated it, what you saw that, you both liked and dislike, man. Just let the people know what you thought about that gameplay, man.
I liked it. Oh, you wanted me to explain more? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, I'm full of jokes today, right? All right.
Man.
Okay, so it wasn't bad. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and compare it to Halo, like some other people I've seen throw it out there. It's still in development. I still do not see what some people are calling next gen, because some people are saying, oh, this is next gen and this isn't. Do I see next gen? No. You know why? Because it's starting to turn into negligible differences. You know what I mean? The more we go, the less we're actually going to see. It's not like we're going from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. Same thing with Xbox to 360, or the 360 to the One, PlayStation 3 to the PlayStation 4. It's still just like it is before. It's just right now graphics is getting to a point where realism is realism. It's not blocky. We're not watching Lara Croft and her cones. You know what I mean? We're actually seeing realistic character models. Okay, now it's more on the because you guys were just talking about how the character models don't even seem like they're taking up a stance when you're fighting, right? Just the interaction between objects as they're clashing, it's not there yet, so I don't know if it's going to be there just yet, but we need more physics stuff. We saw some previews of hair flowing. This game has some, I would say, some ray tracing there. I don't know how much it is, or if it's just part of the shine, but it does look like they've polished it up. Have they added anything more to it since the last time? No, it doesn't seem like they've altered my view on it. It's not really a game that I feel like I'm going to be playing. So, it's just, I have to see more. You know what I mean? I don't want to make a final judgment, but if I got to spend $60, $70, whatever they're going to decide this gen, I need to see a little bit more to convince me to put down my hard-earned money. Not only to buy the game, but also to buy the console. Because remember, if you don't buy the console, you ain't playing the game. So there's that other difference there too. Is it enough to get you to buy the console? At first Spider-Man, you know, it was like the excitement. You're like, yeah, but then you sit back and you know, now the excitement's gone, and you're not just all over it. You know, now we're actually being critical. Let's look at it, you know, and realistically, are we going to spend $400 to $500 plus another $70 on top of it just to play one game? No, but is it worth it for right now? So that's kind of where we have to see where they're going with this game. You know, obviously the other games will help make it justified to buy the PS5, but this game alone isn't getting me to that point to say anything. You know, I'm still skeptical. I still want to see more, and I hope I delayed you enough.
Dude, the funny thing is, things are not going smooth in my house right now. I went and looked for the ibuprofen. The bottle that we had was completely gone. And I'm like, oh no. And not for anything, but Tylenol doesn't work for me. So I'm like searching all over the kitchen and the drawers and stuff like that, looking for Advil. I did find it, but it was those little kind of like, they look like chapstick, kind of like containers. And so I had to try to open that. Yo, it's just, it's not my day today, brother. Not my day.
Well, you know, I had an ex-girlfriend that her brother, when he had headaches, his wife would use a baseball bat. That might work.
No,
it might knock you out if you forget about it.
Snaps is not here, so I can't use that form of therapy, brother. Unfortunately,
man, people want Smell to annihilate.
Yeah, I know, right, dude? People want me tased. Yo, we got Dread with the baseball bat. Like, damn, what did I do, bro? What did I do? But
nothing yet.
It's all in anticipation of what I'm gonna do. But ow! I didn't chew him, man. Damn. But let's go to Predator on this. First off, I don't know if Godfall was kind of like on your radar in terms of a PS5 game, but I know that you saw people out there kind of like championing this game as the next banger. I think a lot of them, it's just for the fact that it wasn't going to be on Xbox, at least not at launch or whatnot. But did you check out the gameplay trailer?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was actually watching it again now because I didn't go back and look at it in a higher resolution from before, so I'm checking it out right now.
My brother Mooch tried to call me out and said I didn't go back and check out the 4K 60, but I did right after I told him I was going to on Twitter. But, dude, so give us your thoughts, man. Is it going to be that banger that people claimed when it was first announced? What do you think, bro?
I think it'll be popular because it's a new game and it's going to be on PlayStation 5 at launch. I think that's where its popularity is going to come from, but I think it's going to fizzle out shortly after that. I mean, any of these games like this, it just depends on how much content they're going to put into it after the game releases. Mm-hmm. It's going to make it, popular. And like, like K Mega was saying, like, some of this stuff, it just seems like some of the enemies they just stand there. Like I peeped that too when we were watching it live. And I mean, I know it's an early build. I'm not going to chastise the game too much with it being this early. And then, they said it was on. When I loaded this up on Gearbox's website, it was playing on a PS5 demo kit or whatever it's called.
Dev kit.
So Dev kit, yeah. So
that's actually part of another topic that we have. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's right there in bold, right when the video starts. So, I mean, it doesn't look like next gen to me. Like it looks like it's something that could be played on the current consoles right now. But that's this build, and I'll go with that for now. There doesn't seem like there's enough there. I want to know more about the story. Like who's the enemy you're fighting against? Like I mean, there's got to be more to this than you just walk around.
Different gods. No, it's pretty much what it is, man. I don't think there's
they're just gonna add new gods every other month or something like that. So it's kind of like a Monster Hunter, type scenario. Which Monster Hunter it didn't come off as a bad game. It's not my type of game, but I know a lot of people didn't enjoy that type of game. But I mean, from looking at it, it's not on my list of games I have to get. But if I had to get a PlayStation 5 and I wanted to see what it could do, and I had this and Spider-Man, that's what you're gonna have to get. Everything else is just gonna be, I mean, look at it this way: what game have we seen so far that's supposed to be on these new consoles that looks next gen?
Hellblade.
Medium and Hellblade. That's
No.
about
I
it.
mean that are coming out at launch. They're
Oh,
within a couple of months of launch. Like, between launch and play, let's say February. Like, I mean, I really have not seen anything that's saying, hey, buy me. I look fucking amazing right now. Like, everything looks like it could run on these current gen systems right now. And so, like,
right.
for me as a consumer, I'm not going to, like, I went back and forth with this. Like, am I going to get this? Am I going to get this one first? Am I going to get that one first? And I'm looking like, I just fucking built my PC. I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'll get one of these consoles when they actually show games that look, next gen, as everyone's complaining about right now. I want to see those games, or at least a custom console. Until those come out, I'll just hang out for a little bit and wait until I see something that's worth my time.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, in terms of quote unquote next gen, I mean, I know people are they're gonna criticize me for this, but there were some things in the scenery of Halo Infinite that I was like, you know what, that does look really good, man. When you look out into like the beyond when it comes to Halo, and imagine being able to go and explore all those reaches, I was like, you know what, that seems to be next gen to me. But in terms of like the more casual, doesn't look into a lot of like the next gen features and stuff. Say somebody just walking by a GameStop and they saw the game being played on a screen. I can see what you're saying there, Pred. But yeah, like I was hoping that Godfall looked more impressive to me, and it was really kind of like a letdown to me personally. You know what I'm saying? For somebody who's looking at this, like, I don't really know what system I'm gonna invest in day one. When you look at the launch lineup when it comes to the PS5, from what we know so far, basically we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, which I'm making a video about as well, because I feel like Sony and Insomniac are kind of like pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. They are using Spider-Man PS4 textures and assets, and of course they're putting in kind of like ray tracing and stuff like that, but at its core it's a PS4 game, and people are out there claiming that it looks so next gen, which is really weird. But I'm gonna make a video for that. Let's go to Crispy on this. Crispy, did you check out Godfall in the gameplay trailer, the in-depth gameplay trailer?
Well, I mean, first of all, state of play, I fell asleep and I had dreams of bug snacks. So,
oh no,
yeah.
Hold on, were you eating them or were they eating you? I think that's the question.
I think it was a little of both. It was
just weird.
Nice. but in all seriousness, I mean, it doesn't look next gen. I mean, let's be honest for a second. It doesn't. And the only thing I'll give it to them is that they're taking a hack and slash and they're making a looter, which not many, devs have done over the years. I mean, but the thing that I have a problem with is that I've played enough looters that I didn't see enough content. And if you're not going to support the game after, how are we going to achieve this content? I mean, if you're going to only play with 5 different, weapons, basically.
5 different classes of weapons.
Okay. Whatever.
Hey, dude, I gotta be accurate, bro. I gotta be accurate.
I know. But I'll give them credit for that. Like, I'm more interested in the game because it's not a looter shooter, which we're so used to. You know what I mean? Like, and there's no guns involved, as we've seen so far. I mean, you never know. But the visuals, I mean, I think, Ghost of Tsushima looked better, to be honest with you. And, to follow up with gameplay, and really like went in depth with the gameplay, and it didn't impress me like Ghost of Tsushima did. I don't see why they did it to begin with. I understand it's a launch title and I get why they did it, but it's just, it's a game that I feel like people are just going to mash buttons until no end. And that's what it's going to be. And yeah, maybe you'll gain abilities and this and that, but I just feel like there's not enough details yet. And you went into 10 minutes of gameplay, so I'm a little off put. I don't know how to really take it any other way than that. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I would expect them to really like showcase, what the game's going to do and everything. And I feel like they're just explaining simple little things that are a part of the game. And, it's supposed to be a looter co-op hack and slash. And you really didn't get any of that from what I saw, at least.
I got you, man. Like, I heard rumors when this game was first shown. I haven't really dug into more information, but I heard rumors that this isn't going to be a $60 title, that it could possibly be a $30 or $40 title. For that, I can kind of see that. I kind of wish, and I'm not sure if I'm the only one on this panel, Game Pass has been so good to me in terms of games that, I wouldn't have bought, but I tried because it's in a subscription. I kind of wish that PlayStation had a similar service. I think this game would be perfect for something like that. Let people go in and try it out. If they like it, like over time, when it gets updated with more content and stuff, it would be a perfect game for that. But I don't know if I'm kind of like by myself on that. Does this game seem more like a subscription service type game to you, Crispy?
I believe so. I mean, I think it deserves. I mean, let's not ignore the fact that we are in some unprecedented times, and I'm not sitting here like, oh, this console.
Oh, we can't talk about that anymore. Yo, dude, it was good with The Last of Us 2, but we can't talk about that anymore, man. Okay.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sitting here bashing the game. What I'm saying is that I feel like if you're going to show gameplay, you needed to show more. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like maybe it's unfinished. I don't feel like 5 classes is really enough for a looter style. You know what I'm saying?
That's you're absolutely right. That's what I was thinking. Like 5, I'm like, as a start.
It's a start.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're not going to support the game anymore, I mean, well, let's be honest. I mean, Sony said this before. We're not going to make any more. We're not going to have anything this, anything that. But on top of it, I mean, I do believe in a year it's going to come out on Xbox, is it not? So
we know it's coming out. It's coming on PC. I don't know how long it'll be before it comes on PC, but yeah, it's supposed to be on everything.
Oh, Snaps is writing something on a piece of paper right next to me.
Oh boy.
She is going to the beach with the twins, and she loves me, guys. She loves me. I don't think she loves Godfall though. I'm not sure if she saw the gameplay, but I don't think that's her cup of tea right there. Like I said, it is unfortunate. It was a game that, because I kept in mind the whole kind of like $30-$40 thing. I'm like, it might be a decent game, but I even saw like texture pop-ins and stuff, and for all the people that are like, that SSD though, and I'm like, yeah, this is running on a dev kit that has more system memory than what your actual PS5 that you bring home if you buy is gonna have, and there was pop-in and stuff like that. It wasn't major, but because Sony was marketing the whole SSD, elimination of pop-ins, ultra fast, almost completely eliminating load times, like my eyes caught that. Did anybody else see stuff like that, like the pop-ins and stuff, or was I just really high that night?
No, apparently, even though I verified I wasn't watching it on 140p, apparently I was, according to some.
Oh, okay. But did you see what I saw?
I was looking more at the gameplay like I usually do. I don't look at everything else because that's usually what I'm looking at is when I'm playing, what I'm looking at. When it comes to if there's some downtime where you're waiting for something to go on and you're spinning around, then I would notice something like that. But other than that, I'm looking dead center of the screen where I'm shooting at, and you know what I mean? That's where I look at.
Shout out to Tommy Jordan real quick in the chat. He said he didn't see any pop-in. I will let you know. Look at the top right hand and left hand corners. Like for some reason, like on the screen, the upper right and the upper left for some rhyme or reason, there seem to be issues in those areas when it comes to it. And again, the game's not out yet. All right, it's the same thing that we talk about. Game's not out yet. System's going to release in November. I think all these systems are going to release in November. That's when these games are going to come out. So there is still time to fix things. But I didn't see a lot of people.
I see what you mean.
You see what I'm saying, right?
Now. Yeah, I see what you mean. But I think it's, yet again, I think it's a minute thing. It's still in progress. And until the console's actually out, we won't know exactly what it's going to look like. It needs to be optimized. So
I have to say, sniping in Battlefield is so gratifying.
So you're
Just
almost,
a random thought.
You're almost proving that you can't play a game. And
I just don't know because you heard me say "whoo" because I just shot somebody from way from the other side of the map. It was great. Anyway,
all right. So let us move on. Let's get into one of the meatier topics, and it has to do with you guys and your cell phones, because Xbox xCloud has been in beta on Android and iPhone for quite a while now. On iPhone, it was literally, I believe, one game, which was Halo 5, I believe, that you can play. But it was being tested. It was being beta tested. And, of course, on Android, man, you just saw the library kind of like expand and all that good stuff. Well, just this week, the beta expired on Apple's iPhone when it comes to the xCloud streaming service. And it seems that Apple is not going to allow xCloud to be a part of their iOS for their iPhones, for their tablets, stuff like that. They're also not letting Google Stadia or Nvidia kind of like stream on their platform as well. And I gotta ask you guys, man, and I think I'm gonna go to Pred on this one first, man. Like Pred is my go-to on the business side of things here. Dude, what does this mean for you? Like, first off, how did you feel when you saw that Apple was basically blocking these other game streaming services? Like, they want to keep their own on there, which is all well and good. And the main reason why, from what I'm hearing, is the fact that Apple can't go in and rate each individual game themselves. Like, it's a service that streams games, so they can't go in and kind of rate the games themselves and be like, well, you can't have that one on iOS, you can't have that one on iOS. And that is what they're saying is one of the main reasons. So I got to ask you how you feel about what Apple is doing here. Do you believe it's the right thing to do? And we got to get into, like, what does this mean for, like, xCloud? Because I know Microsoft and Xbox, we're hoping to get that entire consumer base, because when it comes to iPhone, that is 52% of cell phone users around the world are on iPhone, and about 47% are on Android. So I gotta ask you, man, is xCloud in jeopardy here, brother?
Not really. You gotta think the 51, 47%, the numbers that you're throwing out there. Not all those people are gonna play games on their phone. Like, you might get, let's throw a weird number out there, 20% of those 40% or 50% or whatever. That's not, like, everybody is not going to get into xCloud that has an iPhone. So, like, there's going to be a small percentage of people who will do that regularly. So, don't focus on those numbers. Focus on the users that would have actually used, and I'll just use iPhone, that would have actually used their iPhone.
Do you have any kind of like roundabout numbers that? No,
I don't, because I don't know what the numbers were for the people who tested it when it was in beta. Like that's something Microsoft has. And so, and the next thing I was about to say, like, that issue should have been worked out while it was in beta on iPhone.
Oh yeah.
That's the bigger issue. Like, why wasn't that talked about beforehand and worked out before they dropped the release of the full open xCloud, right? So that should have been ironed out in the beginning, or at least right before they closed everything out. I think it's going to happen at some point. I think there's enough pressure from the iPhone users, and then with the release of the new Samsung phone, I've seen a lot of people who are hardcore Apple people go over to the Android.
The last couple of years, I've seen people going over from Apple to basically Samsung. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of YouTubers that deal with technology, cell phones, stuff like that. They're like, "Oh, I got the new Samsung now. What do I think about it?" And I've seen a lot of people absolutely loving the Android device in comparison to the Apple. But yeah, keep going, bro. My bad.
I mean, there's pros and cons to each. You got to think, like, if you look at this as a big business picture, Microsoft has a new phone coming out. Guess what operating system is going to be on it? Android.
Yeah.
Android. That Fold they have, that new whatever, the Surface Book Fold thing they have coming out, that's going to be, it's not running on Windows. That's running on Android. So there's a partnership there. They've had a partnership with Samsung for a long time now. When it came to the launch of the Series X, they were marketing with the TVs and stuff like that. Like so, I think they found some gold with Samsung, and they're going to continue to work with them. It would be nice if Apple would jump on board, but go ahead. I know you're about to ask me a question.
I love picking your brain when it comes to stuff like this, brother. So you got to bear with me a little bit, man, because I'm going to bring it back to that whole 52-47%, because if I'm running a business and I'm thinking about the gamers out there with those devices, I'm thinking about them all together. And if all of a sudden I can take 51% of that entire community and kind of throw it in the dumpster, that changes my plans a little bit. It changes my expectation for what's going to happen with my service that I'm trying to put on all those devices. You see what I'm saying?
That's why I'm trying to stop you. You're saying, okay, let's say I'm going to throw an easy number out there. There's 1,000 iPhones out there. We're going to put xCloud on 1,000 phones. Yeah, that's it's a downloadable app. However, all 1,000 of those people are not going to play xCloud. They're not interested in gaming on their phone.
No, but you're eliminating any potential on that side.
You're eliminating the potential of that small segment of that 1,000. So, like, let's say, I'm using a number. You're saying 51%. I'm putting a number on that 51%. I'm putting 1,000 on it. Okay. If you could say 10 million, I'm just making it easy. So if there's 1,000 people out of that 51%, that's 1,000 people, right? So out of that 1,000 people, let's say in their mind, they want to get 300. That 300 is what they're worried about, not the whole 1,000. There was no way they're going to get 1,000. All 51% of those people that had the phone, there's no possible way they were going to get all of those people into xCloud. No way at all, because not everybody games on phones.
No,
they're only worried about that percentage that they were going to get, and so the test was putting it in that beta. That's what they're losing. Those people who had it, that enjoyed it, that wanted to continue with it, they're going to lose those people.
Well, and there's also a potential for growth when we're gearing up for the launch of the Series X and the Series S. Their marketing. xCloud's going to be all over their marketing, as well as like the new consoles as well. So even that potential growth on that half is completely gone. I'd be a little upset if I were kind of like running that division, running that company, and to see that such a big company in terms of the devices is not playing ball with me, though.
I'm pretty sure they're not happy, but again, that's their service. They can't. There was no guarantee that Apple was going to allow that in the first place. They got to work that out with them. Mm-hmm. So I think the more pissed off people would be the customers who actually want xCloud on their iPhone, because now they have to make a decision. If it's that serious to them, they'll make the switch over to Android. But that's not an easy. I've seen it. It's like I've seen people move to Android from Apple and Apple to Android. They hate it. It's not a smooth transition for those people.
Dude, I couldn't wait to get off of Apple, man. I could not. You can ask Snaps. I could not wait. I love the FaceTime feature when she was at work, just like, when she was on break, talk to her, see her face to face, all that good stuff. The Samsung kind of like their whole video chatting wasn't really up to par back then. Yeah. But other than that, everything else, man, it just felt like Windows 95 in terms of it was just old. You can't really customize it and make it look the way you want. I mean, you could, but all your little tabs would just block any type of creativity, man. It was absolutely horrible to me. But, yeah.
I mean, I think at some point in time, Apple is going to cave in and do it. And they'll work it out. They'll work it out at some point in time. It's just like right now, the initial shock is going to be a no. Because Apple's they've pushed back on other things in the past too. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they've ended up caving in and doing it. But here's another out of the box thought. Maybe Apple's trying to get into their own game streaming service, and they want it on their own phone.
Well, they do have their own kind of like arcade, and if they're going to try to develop that even further and bring kind of like better quality and all that good stuff, like, because when it comes down to it, Apple is pretty much a closed ecosystem, and they want to get you to buy so many Apple devices that interact with each other that you completely invest in their iOS and you don't go anywhere because, you have so many devices that are running this that are all hooked together. Why would you switch to a different, a different OS, different devices and stuff like that? They were slick with that from the beginning, but that's pretty much their main goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of proprietary project stuff too. So, like, you buy something Apple, you got to keep buying Apple shit.
Yes.
So, I mean, I wouldn't throw that out the box yet, though, about the whole gaming, them getting into gaming at some point in time, and other than what they're doing right now, maybe, it would really be crazy if they allowed, like, another cloud service on there and not Microsoft.
That would be, like, if they allowed NVIDIA but kept Stadia and xCloud off of it, oh my goodness, that would be insane, dude. Huge shout out to my golfing buddy. Not only that, somebody who was absolutely on fire on last night's Crossfire, Sir X-Man, hitting up that super chat. He said Apple's loss. I hear you, brother, but it's also the loss of Apple's consumers as well, man. And, like, there's a part of my brain that even after Predator explained everything, I'm still thinking, I don't want to take 51% of potential consumers and take them completely off the table, man. That would be an issue for me. But we got to get somebody else in on this. So let's go with Crispy, who was on Crossfire last night as well. Did an incredible job. Brother, what do you think about Apple's move here in terms of blocking, xCloud, which we're all kind of like invested in, but it wasn't only xCloud, it was Stadia, it was NVIDIA's streaming service as well. What do you think about Apple's move here, and what do you think it means for the Xbox division in terms of the future of xCloud, bro?
I think it means nothing. I think it's just going to sell more Samsung phones, number one. Number two, you have the top 4 companies in the world constantly fighting each other for who's number one.
Dude, it's horrible.
It's pretty funny, though, at the same time, that Google owns Android, and guess what? They're just like, yeah, we're cool with it, whatever. You know what I mean? Even though they have a full-on streaming
Google even
service.
runs Microsoft Edge now. Like, in the background, what runs, that kind of like search and all that good stuff? It's Google underneath everything.
Yes, exactly.
Crispy, real quick, let me hit up these super chats just real quick before we move on. I don't want to get them all loaded up and have to like spend 10, 15 minutes or so. Like, I
got my thoughts in me. Don't worry about it.
All right, brother. All right, shout out to Lucifer. Hitting up the super chat one more time with 4.48. I had to say that. xCloud coming to PC soon will add more people. Now, Lou, I like where you're going with that. And what I like about that is for the people who don't necessarily have gaming rigs, but want to get into gaming, possibly using their PC, stuff like that, I can definitely see a lot more people in kind of like that camp going in on xCloud. I really like what you're saying there. And shout out to the friendly neighborhood Blue Shell. Always good to see you, brother. Thank you for hitting up the super chat. He said Android is 3 times greater than Apple. And he's got, of course, the devil horns going there. Shout out to you, brother. I agree with you. As somebody who has had both, I definitely agree with you. But I will say, my favorite phone, still to this day, is a Windows phone, man. And that's just the way it just worked. It just worked beautifully.
He liked the tiles.
Oh, the live tiles too, man. Yeah, absolutely loved them. But again, Crispy, thank you for letting me interrupt you. Keep going, man. What's this deal? Apple, What do you think?
Well, I mean, we all know that Microsoft and Apple's rivalry has went back generations at this point. We're talking like 25, 30 years. Okay. So they are constantly at odds with each other. And Microsoft's willing to change. I mean, just by them putting the beta on there, I think they want, of course, to have, their product on their service, because Apple's very closed. They're very close. And I have an iPhone 11, and this iPhone 11 compared to, I think I had an iPhone 8 Plus, if I'm not mistaken. This one has already had issues with the hardware of it, and I've never had these kind of issues with a Samsung phone. The only thing I do like is that I don't feel like I'm going to be able to like get a virus on it or something like that. That's the only reason why I've stuck with the iPhone. But at this point, I'm very disappointed in the way they're doing their business practices. It doesn't make sense. Okay.
Are you about to speak with your wallet on that then, man?
I'm about to speak with my wallet because
oh shoot.
Because Apple Arcade, if that's your reason, which I go off what Pred said, okay. Apple Arcade, if that's your reason, you got problems, bro, because you're not even close to the amount of servers of Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. You're not even in the same realm, okay? So if that's your reason, that's stupid, number one. Number two, you have Google and Microsoft playing nice on another competitor because you are more a hardware-based company than anything else. Yes, your iOS software has a good closed circuit, very, very, linear. It does what you want it to do. It gets stuff done. The phones work fine. But if you're not going to create the hardware when you're a hardware-based company, which I've just experienced, I've only had my iPhone 11 for a year, and the charger port is done. I have to go to wireless charging the whole time. That pisses me off because this is a brand new phone.
Wait until they throttle down your service. Like when they get the newer phones out, and all of a sudden your phone is sluggish as shit just because they want you to upgrade.
That happened to me 4 years ago, and I had the iPhone 8 Plus, which is the big old screen and everything else, and the screen didn't look good. Like obviously. You could play nice with Samsung and get their screens for your iPhone 11 because you suck at making screens, but you can't play nice at all. Like you can't play nice with people. Nice at all. like Microsoft wants to do something great with xCloud. I mean, I have people all the time that are like, dude, I have one bar and I'm playing a video game, and yeah, it's laggy. I expect that, but I'm still playing it. Or I have 2 bars and I'm still playing it. I'm playing it off of the satellite that's up above me, or whatever it is, and they're just impressed that they're playing with me on Xbox. You know what I mean? And they're enjoying it, even though they know that they're a little bit behind or whatever. Like, but that's the point. Like, if you don't have the area around you, you don't have the Wi-Fi, you have the bars for the service, anything. I mean, you should expect that. I mean, if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're ignorant to the way cell phones work to begin with. So the fact is that Apple continues to fight Microsoft on every single thing. And even you see like Sony just come over and be like, hey, we want your cloud services. You know what I mean? And they haven't invested. They don't play nice with other companies, especially the top 4. I mean, why wouldn't you be like, hey, I want your servers from Amazon. Amazon's not really doing anything right now. Why not do it? But they're not trying to push the gaming. They try to act like they are. And it's ridiculous that, just let it happen. Like, you're going to have people that are going to be like, I'm done. Like, I went from Samsung to iPhone and whatever, and I'm done, dude. Like, I want to be able to play the games if I want to. Like,
Crispy, I just thought about you and your first date, just being like, yo, just lay back and let it happen, man. Yeah, like that.
You went there.
I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help myself.
And I'm done now.
I'm done now.
That was kind of fast.
Yo, shout out to Flexican hitting up that super chat. Thank you for the support, brother. He says, Battletoads! Pre-install is 19 gigabytes. Can't wait for xCloud for PC as well. X gonna give it to you. Thank you, brother, for that super chat, and again for the support. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see, Dread.
Yeah.
I think you might have some interesting opinions on this. What do you think's going on here? What do you think about Apple's move? What do you think this means for xCloud? Because, like, you know, when they were talking xCloud, they were talking about Play Anywhere, putting games on PC as well as console. You know, you had Phil Spencer talking about those 6 billion gamers out there, and now you gotta adjust that number because Apple will not play ball right now. What do you think, bro?
All right. Well, here's what I'm looking at. Right now, I am in the beta program for xCloud on the Android. I did apply. I actually waited because I'm already in the beta for the Android. I decided I'd wait for them to close out the first round of beta for Apple, right? So I figured, okay, I'll give the other team a chance to also try this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So bear in mind, I own Samsung. I've owned Samsung for a while. I've got the
Oh
S10
shit, you own Samsung.
Ultra.
I need a loan, sir. If you own
well,
Samsung.
Well, for $1,500, I'll give you $50 a month. You for the charge for the phone, and then I'll give you the phone. By the way, it's used, and then we'll go from there. Now, but seriously, I've got the S10 Ultra, right? So I'm good with that. I also have an iPhone through work, so I was like, why not? Right? Now, I'm already at work. I'm already when I have downtime, I throw on a little bit of xCloud, see what's going on, see what they've done with it. I do have internet there where I'm at, so I do get decent streams. I've even done it with Stadia. Okay, so and it works. And everybody gives everything.
Dude, you just sound so like you when you say Stadia, your voice goes down. You just wanna slip it in there and then just move on afterwards. I hear it.
Stadia works, man. Stadia works. It doesn't work for everybody, and I get it. It all depends on what servers you're connected to, just like xCloud, right? Everything, any kind of online streaming that you're doing depends on where you're at, your connection, and how far away the other connection is. Okay, Stadia requires a lot more transmission than xCloud does. So who's going to have more information? Hiccups. Oh, that would be xCloud. Okay, so there is an advantage here because they don't need as much on the xCloud side. Okay, now because I do operate both phones daily, I understand this is the way I look at it, is there's a certain type of mentality that cannot understand Google Android phones. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's Samsung or LG or who, but it's the mentality of how they operate versus the mentality of how Apple operates. All right, so you're going to have that difference between the two anyway. There's going to be some, because I've had people that switched and they're like, I got the new Samsung, here we go, and they're like, I'm back to Apple. They're like, I don't understand it. And yet the same thing, so the new Apple phone comes out, someone's like, yeah, I got the new Apple. I don't understand. I don't know how to get out of, like the logistics.
Dude, I would not touch an iPhone again with a 10-foot pole and crispy pushing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but so I do know the we'll leave it at that. I do know I do understand the ecosystem of Apple. Okay, so I understand that because I have my own account, even though I have my work phone, I still have my personal account on there too. Okay. So I do have interactions with Apple products. So there is that. Okay, so it's not just of talking out of my ass because I don't know one thing and I only know the other. I do work with both phones for work, and because one phone doesn't do what I need, I use the other phone and vice versa.
Okay.
So I use them both to my advantage because I have them both there.
Dude, you got the best of both worlds then.
Exactly, right?
Nice.
So right now I'm actually playing Hellblade as we're talking on my Samsung phone. So and to see everything going on, that's cool. Now, do you think Microsoft's waiting for something? Is it what's going on with that, right? So what I'm thinking is there's that class action lawsuit that's going against Apple with a monopoly power that they're trying to hold off. Because don't forget, they also want every transaction that you do on the Apple phone to go, was it 30% to Apple?
Yeah.
You think Microsoft wants to lose that or Xbox wants to lose that? I mean, either or, right? It doesn't matter if it's Xbox or Microsoft.
So this
right?
is like business positioning.
It's a
is what you're
business.
saying.
Yeah, there's more to this. This is a business because they're not allowed to test the app. So Microsoft and Xbox have to watch how they put their apps out there, right? So if Xbox is trying to tout that this is better than Stadia, right? Don't you think that they want to put their best foot forward? They were only able to do Halo 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like we said, if they also want to use the ratings of every game, that's a lot of games that somebody has to go over, and it's streaming. So what are they truly needing to rate the games, or is it just the app? See, and that's where these little loopholes start coming in. Now, does Microsoft or Xbox want to deal with that? Probably not. Do they want to have a portion, even if it was only 10% of the iPhone users or even any Apple user, right? Because we want to go to everything. It's not just an iPhone, it's an iPad, it's anything else that Apple has that they're, using for that they can put an app on there. Yeah, they would want at least 10%. That's a huge market to lose. But are they willing to fight for it? They just might have to wait it out. Because depending on the class action lawsuit, I mean, it's antitrust laws are going on right now because of that. Because yet again, their ecosystem
and Microsoft
is a monopoly.
is spurring those complaints as well,
right?
Along with the other companies and whatnot.
And Microsoft had the same issue back in the day, and it went against them. That's why they had to separate certain things, because they ended up becoming sort of a monopoly in certain people's eyes. All right, this isn't a Microsoft thing going against Apple. It's other companies that are going against Apple. So then Microsoft's just sitting around and kind of joining in on the fun. Let's force these guys' hands. So they don't have to do as much work. It's already been going on. They're just jumping in. And if they can do the same thing, and eventually, I'm sure if it turns into that, where they will have to open it up and they can't demand so much money out of you for a sale that you made, if they were a little bit more reasonable with that, there's so many different variables here that can happen. So if that's the case, then that I can see them waiting it out. Other than that, why wait and concentrate on something that is an uphill battle right now, right? So it's an uphill battle. We've got Samsung TVs. We've got anything that's an Android operating system that they can use, even their own phone that they're using Android on, right? So why not concentrate on making that right now? Because, it's a stalemate on the Apple front. So concentrate on making everything else better. I was literally sitting here playing Hellblade with no controller. I'm using touchscreen, and it worked. Some of the sensitivity needs to be adjusted, but it works. I can, I was like you guys were talking about. I was like, let me check it out again. Let me see how much, because I hadn't had a chance since they said that they had on-screen controls. Let me see what happens.
Guys, people in the chat, I just want to say, this is a true gamers podcast. When you have K Mega over here playing Battlefield 5, and then all of a sudden, as we're talking, Dread's like, you know what? I'm going to put in some Hellblade on xCloud while we are talking about the whole xCloud Apple kind of debacle. That's when you can tell this is a true gamers podcast right here. Nothing but gamers on the panel. Definitely appreciate that. Yo, Dread, I am going to swing it over to my brother K Mega. I want to get him in on this as well. Guys, if you notice from the gameplay, I am playing a movie that just went to Game Pass. That's right, a movie that just went to Game Pass because the developers.
You know that game is hot, don't you?
Well, I can't really rate it as a game yet, but it's an interesting experience. Man. I don't know, but I will definitely finish it. I downloaded. This is Man of Medan. I got the theatrical cut. And I got the director's cut. You can't play the director's cut until you beat it on the theatrical, or you can't interact with the director's cut until you finish the theatrical. But
right, yeah, do some there's 4-player co-op on that, so it'll be
Yeah,
fun.
does that mean all 4 players get to make their own decisions when?
Yes,
Oh
yes,
wow,
yes. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. So
that's
I
cool,
hope
man.
Xbox brings
Well,
more and
maybe
more
I'm
stuff
gonna be
in.
looking for 3 people on Xbox Live so we can go in and try to survive
With
the
it.
boat together, yo. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with it. Me live in 100 we first played it, and it was just crazy. And I just haven't gone back to finish it, but yeah, I would like to do that again because it was pretty cool, especially for the decisions that
It's
you made.
just amazing that this what I call interactive movie. Like I said, it's the same developers that made Until Dawn, right? And Until
Yeah,
Dawn got so much amount of hype. Now,
that was
when
very
this one came out, it came out as a multi-plat, and it came out with crickets, man. Absolute crickets. Like, I don't understand that. I don't know. I don't know what it
you
is.
already
man.
know. You know why.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. But, yo, shout out to Midway Monster hitting up that super chat. Always good to see that name in the chat. It says, showing support, hit that like button. Guys, you got to listen to Midway Monster. Hit that like button. Dreadpool is here. Sweet. Have a great show, guys. Thank you so much, Midway. Definitely appreciate that. Now, K Mega, we got Apple playing a little messy here, man, when it comes down to it. And not just with Microsoft, like I said, with Google, with Nvidia as well. What are your thoughts on this? And you heard what I said with Pred. That's 51% of the worldwide cell phone consumer base just basically now gated off. You can't get in there and kind of like offer them your product. What does this mean for the future of xCloud, bro?
All right, I'm glad that you asked that, and I wanted to really break this down on GRG, but of course it just didn't happen. So because I've had my stats ready to go for ever since I posted this data from Device Atlas early. I think it was Friday morning when I posted it, but nobody didn't really see it because it didn't. It was one of those things. It just didn't get enough attention. But there are some other things too to also think about. Facebook has also joined into this as well, so they're upset because Apple is taken away from Facebook gaming. It is well known that Apple, and we've talked about this on the show, where Apple is going to try to push their arcade gaming service, and they're doing this intentionally. It's not because of their policies, because they could override it and they could change it.
Well, the quote unquote reasons for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're being fraudulent they're frauding the public with that. Apple is just wanting to. They know that the potential of Stadia, of xCloud, and even with what Nvidia is doing, and then with Facebook gaming and what they're doing, that all would just kind of overshadow what iOS arcade is right now. So until they get their whatever that they're going to do, how far that they're going to take it, till they get their stuff up, I think it's going to just be them playing hardball for a long time. And because Apple is as powerful as it is, they can do whatever they want. But here's some funny statistics right here. All right, so when you look at it and this is from January 28th of 2020, Apple hit 1.5 billion active devices of recent iPhones and iPads running on iOS, right? That's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That's a huge gap. But Android has 2.5 billion, and 2.5 billion of their service all across the world right now, and that was let me see where that date is. That was just put out just March of this year. So and then when you look at everything else through the Device Atlas, iOS is big in United States, in Canada, Japan.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
Japan, and then also what is that other state? I mean, not state, but country.
Australia, Indonesia,
India. Australia. That's what it is.
Australia.
That's what it is. Australia.
Texas.
Texas.
Yes.
So big it's a country now.
But check this out, though. Canada is iOS, considered iOS country, but Canada is only 50%. Android has caught up it is now at 50.1 to 49.3. It is crazy how, in every stat that you look from around the world, right? And I posted it. I'll post it in the link. I'll post it into the next podcast and let you guys see it yourselves. Colombia, it's not even close. Every time you look at these graphs from going from 2016 all the way to 2019, going into 2020, iOS is going down, Android is going up. It's maintained in the United States because it's at 56%, and then in Android is 44%. But Android's going up, iOS is going down slightly, but not as what we would see. Like, I mean, there's crazy dips in Canada in 2017, 2018. iOS was kicking Android's ass. They're pretty much even right now. And then when you look at what the stats was in a big country like India, iOS was dominating. Now it is a huge amount. It's like 80%. It's like 70-80% of all Android, and iOS has went damn near down in the dirt. So when you have 2.5 billion devices, they got plenty of people, and it's like Fred said earlier.
It's not that 6 billion though that Phil was talking.
Well, he said what? He said. I thought he said 2 to 4 billion. Did he say 6 billion?
I don't know. I'm quoting my brother Crab Gamer on that one. The 6 billion.
He didn't say no 6 billion.
I thought it was more like 4 billion, but
he said 2. I thought he said 2 to 4. He said 2 to 4 billion. But regardless,
I'll say
you
4.
already have Samsung. You already have Android in your pocket with 2.5 billion devices that's already available for you. And if you added iOS, then you would be over there from probably, because they have 1.9, so you'll be looking at like that around 4 to 5 billion. But just think about that for a second. Like Fred said, not everybody's going to jump on and get this service through anybody. So there's plenty of pieces in the pie where everybody can have a bite. It's just that now I think iOS sees that the growth of Android, because they've had a lawsuit for numerous times for just one of the other is saying that they stole ideas for their phones, the other, and then there was a big lawsuit. So it's just a nasty situation. And since Microsoft did that deal with Samsung, and that's like really iOS's big, Apple's big competition with the Android phones, then of course they're going to be like, man, we're going to play serious hardball. And so now it's really going to be funny going in to like maybe next year when we really start seeing more and more of these services start to come out, and they start displaying, because then we'll really see what Stadia's got as well. And then they're all pushing back, and they're all very powerful companies. You know what I'm saying? Facebook is powerful. Microsoft is powerful.
I think
powerful.
Facebook, in terms of this situation, I think they are the most powerful. Because can you imagine if they pull Facebook out of the iOS because of all this? Like, if you're not going to have our gaming in here.
They're not allowing them to have Facebook gaming, and that's why they jumped into it. I just read that yesterday.
Yeah, so if they're like, well, if you're not going to allow Facebook gaming, we're not going to allow the Facebook app on your iOS. I mean, that could be a game changer.
That's what I'm saying. iOS is going to, like Fred also said, and I didn't get to hear because I had to step away, but I don't know if anybody else was saying that. Look, it's got to eventually change, and if not, then I think this might be the start of where Apple is going to start. Not, they ain't going to ever fall off, but start losing a little bit of credibility around the world of where their standing is. Steve Jobs is not there anymore, and if you look at everything of what they've done, it's showing. You see, and Sony's even taking over this taking the same type of Apple stand where you only use our products for this type of situation, kind of like with that DualSense controller stuff, all of that. And so that's a turnoff, especially now when we have so many people right now going through the stuff with the pandemic, the economy in not only just the United States, but every place
Can't
across
talk
the world
about it
is
anymore,
not
bro.
best.
Last of Us Part 2 came out. We can no longer use that reasoning.
Bro. We was on a decline when the Last of Us 2 stuff was going on. So come on, stop it.
I'm just
Anyway,
saying.
but I know I got you. But again, it's still the situation too, is that people were going to start speaking with their wallets. And if you could get cheaper items that and accessories for your Android, instead of you paying the top dollar on Apple devices and stuff like that, man, I mean, people are just going to start switching over, and we see this in this graph. So like I said, I'll post it again so people can see it. It's from Device Atlas. And yeah, they have but their margins, Apple's margins used to be
Dude,
a hell
if
of a
you
lot
have
bigger
the link
overall.
available, I think
Yeah.
you are a moderator, man. If not, it's
Oh, okay.
something-
Okay, yeah, I'll get it
you
right
could just throw it right in the chat to let people see that.
Yeah,
stuff, man.
I'll throw it right
I
here so you guys
I
can
just
do
had
it.
a weird thought, and I'm just gonna throw
Well,
this out
Crispy,
there
you
real
are
quick.
known for weird thoughts. I'm
There you
just
go,
saying.
guys.
Yeah, well-
Go check it out yourself.
Well,
And then I'll throw another
can
one
we
showing
see
how many
Xbox
users.
and Samsung do like a TV console bundle?
Oh yeah, I think it's coming because they already did.
They did
Remember,
that before.
They did that.
They
Yeah,
did
they
that
did
before.
that already.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and they could do it again. That's why I was saying, like, it was really weird that PlayStation just kind of all of a sudden got away from Samsung doing that deal that they had with Samsung, where they had PlayStation Now on those Samsung TVs, and then all of a sudden Microsoft took advantage of it. They worked out a deal, and I guarantee you it's gonna happen. Just think about that for a second.
Now,
You put
wait.
Game Pass apps on Samsung televisions. That's even
But
drawing in more of a market.
adding the phone in. I think that would be interesting.
Well,
That would be a new play. I'm just saying.
I don't know how that would work because you got different type of phone companies, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, and all them. But I don't know how that would work. But I mean, but that's the one thing that Michael Pachter was bringing up all in the beginning of last generation about these type of deals and services type of thing. But it seems like he was just a generation behind, because it looks like that's the type of thing that's going to be going forward. So, I mean, Xbox will be fine. Xbox will definitely be fine because there's still plenty of people. But I do understand why Microsoft would be upset. And while
Dude, I'd be
Google and all the
heated,
rest
bro.
of them, because
I'd be heated.
that's 1.9 billion people that you know what I'm saying that's missing out, that has the opportunity if they were into xCloud. And then that's going to take away, I wouldn't say it take out a massive amount of people from jumping over from iPhone to Android, but it's definitely going to move the needle a little bit, because if people see Game Pass and this or Stadia or Nvidia and whatever Facebook is going to try to do, and they don't have the opportunity, it's going to be crazy, man.
Yo, check this out. K Mega, Flexican hit up the super chat again. Shout out to him. Do you see what it's saying there? Do you want to read that, or you want me to, man?
I can read it. He says Mixer dies, and now Facebook Gaming is going to hate the xCloud links.
Going to have the xCloud links.
I was going to have. Oh, my bad. They're going to have the Xbox links that says a streamer is playing xCloud game. You tap on it, and now you're playing the game through xCloud, Samsung, and Microsoft. Lots of ways to play. And let's not forget about this whole thing right now. And I think that's the reason why WB Games is now pulling back, because nobody really wants the deal. I think it really was close for Microsoft and WB Games to really make that deal for Xbox to get those studios.
Mm-hmm.
But the TikTok situation jumped in. And just think, you add TikTok on top of what's going on with Facebook Gaming, xCloud, and everything else on top of that. So, because I mean, it's a political as well with the whole TikTok thing. But if Microsoft gets that, you don't think that they're not going to try to promote?
Well, that's going to be their number one priority. Would be TikTok.
Exactly. And I was just seeing today that I think Jez put up, where they're saying that Twitter wants to try to jump in and partner up and do something with TikTok. Can you imagine Twitter, Xbox having all of this clout to just advertise Game Pass and xCloud and everything else on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all in once, and Sony is just, and I think that's why maybe
Sony just looking at him like, yo, we can't do any of that.
That's
shit
the
right
reason.
there.
I don't know if we're going to talk about this. Oh yeah, we are going to talk about this, but this could be the segue to where Sony is investing a lot of money into picking up big titles to be timed. That could be why Sony's making their big move on that to counteract.
Yeah, it's pretty much as a patch moving into the PS5, but
Yeah.
kind of like to
Yeah.
be profitable in the beginning. But first, I do want to shout out Dual Purpose, who is here absolutely every week. Yo, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us. Dual Purpose, I believe you came out talking about the Sony Xperia 2 phone. One thing I will say, I feel that Sony phones are severely underrated when it comes to the quality that they do have. I've checked them out. I've looked into kind of like their feature sets, what they use to build those phones, stuff like that. They are truly awesome phones. I will definitely give you that. And
Trash.
and I say I like them. I like them, man.
Disrespect.
I had an Xperia recently. Trash.
Oh,
What do you
damn.
like the Windows
Was
phone,
Xperia
though?
2 or
I had a
1?
Windows phone.
Yeah.
It was a 2.
Oh.
I had a Windows phone as well. So before I went back to Samsung, I think I broke my Samsung and I wanted something just to hold me over
Yeah.
to the new Samsungs came out. And I got an Xperia, and it just shitted out on me. Like I couldn't like the apps wouldn't work on it for one point in time. You couldn't hear out of the phone.
Really?
The service. Yeah, I
think
got
you got
rid
a
of
bad
it.
one, bro. I think you got a bad one. But another thing that Dual Purpose was saying was about how so-called quote-unquote Xbots now care about games streaming from their box to a phone, and that's not what we're talking about. If you did tune into Crossfire last night, I said that feature will mean nothing to me until I can stream a game off my Xbox while somebody watches a movie using my Xbox on the TV. Like, I still feel like that's still reserving the console for one specific job. And, some people like it. I don't see the benefit of that unless somebody can use the box to do something else while I'm playing the game. So I already touched on that on Crossfire. I'm not all in on that. I think that feature needs to have exactly what I just said for it to be kind of like a headline feature for a console, okay? But on that note, I think
I also posted the thing where it said that Samsung has well, not Samsung, but there's 2.5 billion devices right there too.
oh, dude, you're getting link happy now. I like that.
Well,
man. Give them the
I
information,
just,
bro. Yeah.
I've been sitting on it, and I wanted to talk about it really in depth. Yeah, last
What
night.
happened last night? What happened? It just went crazy.
I mean, no, I didn't go crazy. It was just that we was just in the topics, and then they wanted to kind of get through with it because we were trying to at the tail end because we were talking too long on one particular topic, which was the state of play, which I kind of didn't even want to get into.
No, dude, I was in the DMs for that. And I'm
I just really didn't want to get into because I knew it was going to take a long time, and really it was unnecessary. Because I mean,
if Sony said there's nothing to see, then there's nothing to talk about.
It just wasn't out because I wanted to really get in depth on this one. And but that's the reason why I come here. So I just wanted to throw it out here. So it's very interesting though. I'm excited not only for just xCloud. I've talked about Stadia and stuff like that. But I mean the new era of gaming is really going to broaden, and you're going to be surprised of how many people are going to participate into playing games on their phones. Like I said, my wife will not touch a console, but she plays on her phone all the time.
Okay.
And if she can get like an Animal Crossing or some kind of crate like a TomTom or whatever with that, look like the crazy
she would be able
Pokemon
to
shit,
play Animal Crossing if you bought her a Switch, man. I'm just saying.
Okay, anyway.
I will not let you live that down until she has a Switch in her hand. That's all I'm saying.
I know, bro. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yo, shout out to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast, and since it's my channel, I will pronounce his name right. Enrique, hitting up that super chat. He said, "Woo! Xbox 448 PCMR, let's go!" He is a part of the PC Master Race. Although I am waiting for him.
You need to slash that Microsoft with that too, because that's where he plays his games off of. Is off of that Microsoft OS.
Well, no, I mess with him a lot, yo. Like, it is mad cool to talk to him on Crossfire, before we go on air and everything. And I mess with him all the time. I'm like, dude, you got to build your PC. You can't order it pre-built and then claim Master Race, man. You got to build it. He said
He didn't build his PC.
He ordered it. He's got the same one No Snaps has.
Ah,
It's a nice PC, man. Yo, don't listen to him, Enrique. Don't listen to him, all right, man. But he said
I went and bought my own components and shit.
he said he's gonna build. He said he is gonna build a PC. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's
he's
on the
gonna get a Switch. Yeah, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I think you got. Did you get something else? I think you got something else from somebody else right above Brad.
Really? Hold on. Let me.
Yeah, I think so.
If you see it, yo, spit it out before.
Flexican.
Yes,
Yeah.
nice. I see it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Flexican. Thank you, brother, so much for the support, man. Definitely appreciate it. He says, Facebook gaming, Samsung partnership, TV, Game Pass app and phones, xCloud, Windows 10, Steam, Xbox One, and Xbox Series, possibly TikTok. As far as I'm concerned, Xbox is reaching those 2 billion gamers faster than Sony will. And brother, like I you know, if this was a debate, I can't really argue with you there. I can see exactly where you're coming from now.
The approach is going to be fantastic because Sony is going an older, traditional way by moving a little bit further by bringing more of their games over the PC, which will bring them a lot more recognition. They're going to expand PS Now in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they have no choice in that matter. And then when you look at what Xbox is doing, and then of course you got what Nvidia is doing and what Stadia is going to do. Man, it's going to be a lot, and all these companies got a lot of loot, a lot of money, and a lot of
K Mega,
a lot of clout. It's gonna be
K
great.
Mega. Do you remember back a couple years back we said this is going to be the generation, the crossroads generation, where there's going to be so many different ways that you can play games. Dude, I think we might have been semi-accurate there. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, we were. They don't listen to us because we don't say anything about PlayStation being better. That's all.
Oh, damn, bro.
Next time we make a prediction, maybe we got to say PlayStation for the win.
We got to
and then
etch
we'll
it in stone. We got to put a monument up somewhere in the United States, so this way people absolutely know that's what we said. But until then, we can definitely move on to the next topic. And this is something I have been really interested to talk about. I have been really interested to see what the panel's thoughts on this. And of course, the chat as well. Guys, I do definitely want you to express your opinions here when it comes to the topic at hand. And what we're going to be talking about is something that no other podcast has really approached, at least not in the way that I think we are going to tonight. A lot of people out on social media, when it comes to these shows and these gameplay reveals and stuff like that, we've noticed, especially with like Halo Infinite being run on a PC, when we saw the third party and those games being run on PCs as well, that Xbox has not shown a single game running on the Series X. And we've also seen Sony, with their PS5 reveal, talk about games being run on the PS5. But with the state of play came a little bit of information if you were looking for it. Godfall, when it came out, the first header, it was like PS5 gameplay. Then when you look at the gameplay, at the bottom it says PlayStation 5 dev kit. So, first off, and let me, you know what? I'm gonna go with Dread on this one first, and then we'll go across the panel here. But Dread, a lot of people were talking about how Xbox has not shown a single game running on the Series X, and of course, those same people were also talking that Sony was showing games running on the PlayStation 5. But with what we saw from the state of play, that bit of evidence right there that says it was a dev kit for Godfall, do we really think that the consumer-based PS5 was being used for the PlayStation 5 kind of like gameplay reveals? And then I got to ask you, the two-part question, got to ask you on the second part, what's going on with Xbox? Why do you think they're not even showing games running on the dev kit? getting so close to the launch of the console, man. Let me know your thoughts, bro.
Well, it's the 2-part question, right? So the first part, why is Sony doing what they're doing? Is it a messaging that they want you to know? But it's, how we know with marketing, the message that they portray is how you take it. So if they say that it's running on PlayStation, what does the dev kit do, right? The dev kit is usually more powered.
Hold on, more power than what?
More power than the actual console that's released that you're actually playing.
All right,
so it's got more memory, more, everything is open. Okay,
just to put it out there for people in the chat, the dev kit, first off, has upgrades that the consumer, the retail version of a console does not have. That's what you're saying, right, Dredd?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I agree 100%. Go ahead, man.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, and even then, most of these dev kits are usually a computer. So until they actually make a dev kit right away, we don't know if they have or haven't. Okay, so let's not, be misleading. But at the same time, those that are saying the opposite, let's not be misleading also. Okay, and that's part of the marketing is what you take out of it, what you want. That doesn't mean it's fact. Okay, so when they tell you something, you're reading into something, right? You're seeing this big old banner. It says only on PlayStation 4, but then in the small print, there's Xbox and PC, right? So, and that's the way that they're advertising for this game, okay? And yes, it's not a PlayStation game that they're advertising. It's usually a multi-plat that they have marketing rights for. So when they're doing stuff like this, you have to still question, and that's usually what I tell everyone. Look at it for what it is and question. All right, well, let's make sure that they're actually being honest with us. Yeah, they may be truthful, but not 100% truthful, right? They may be misleading with their truths. So we need to make sure that they're actually doing that. Now, with this dev kit, is this dev kit actually a PlayStation 5? Well, if they're still trying to lock it down and they're trying to mass produce all this stuff, would they have it out there for their developers? No, possibly if they get there, but more than likely everybody's working off of a PC with those same aspects. Okay,
well,
so
we saw the PlayStation 5 dev kit. It looks like a broken bedpan. I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to say,
or a vacuum.
The head to a vacuum, definitely as well. But like you said before, and this is something I don't think a lot of like gamers out there, if you're more casual, you don't look into kind of like tech specs, stuff like that. But dev kits always have more system RAM, right? They have more system memory. So when it comes to the devs, they can overshoot their goal and then scale the game down to fit their consumer package.
Whoa. You're saying overshoot their goal? You mean like Spider-Man Puddlegate?
Oh my goodness!
Is that what we're talking about?
Dude. Oh.
No, I'm serious because that's what they do. This is their creation, right? No, well, I'm defending them too. Okay, so I'm not trying to trash them. Okay, so I'm not reaching. I'm just questioning. Okay, that there is no reaching when you're doing that.
Actually, the dev kit, which would be why you saw more. That makes
a lot of sense. Okay,
damn.
That's why we got to look at everything from all aspects. We got to keep an open mind. Okay, have I said before that everything that they've told us so far is not enough information? Yes, I've said that before, and everybody's like, "Oh, they told us everything. We know everything." No, they're leaving little tidbits out that we still do not know. Okay, and this is one of those things. Is this now a dev kit that we're playing on? Because Spider-Man Puddlegate, right? There was a puddle there, and they had to make the artistic integrity to say, you know what, this puddle is giving us an issue. Okay, it's not saying that it can't handle the puddle. No, it probably was, but it probably wasn't meeting the artistic integrity that they wanted in that game. So they had to bring it out because there might have been enough of a glitch there that they didn't want to have that in the game. Okay, I'm completely trying to decipher why and what happened. Okay, so I do not know. But if you sit back and think about all this stuff, a lot of these philosophers sat down and thought before they spoke. Okay, so sometimes everybody just wants to jump on the bandwagon.
In today's day and age, man.
Right. You see an article and automatically It doesn't matter if the article was from The Onion. It's fact. It's like, wait a second. Isn't The Onion a joke site? Okay. You're going to sit there and you're going to quote something from somebody that's making fun of you. All right. So let's sit back and think about this stuff. So obviously we know that these dev kits are more powerful than the actual system. Why? Because they want to build it to the best they can, and then they have to streamline it down.
Yeah.
They have to make sure that, okay, well, yes, we can do this here, but will it work every day? They need to have a console to test it, okay? But you can't just make something and make it work on the console. What's going to happen? You're going to have subpar information go into your console, so your game's going to be subpar, whether it's looking, playing, feeling, any of that stuff. Anything that you're immersed in that pulls you away is going to throw it off. But if they have a more powerful system, they can scale it down a little bit. Okay, we're not talking about game design. We're talking about just everything that involves the game playability. All right. So when we're doing this stuff, they have to figure out how is it going to make it so this game looks and plays best on our console. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to hand them a developer kit that can do a lot more, and then they just got to fine tune it. That's why we talk about optimizations.
Yes.
Right. When you need to optimize a game to use SSD, what do we have now? We have Gen 4 SSDs right now that are doing the same thing as PlayStation and Xbox. Right. Oh, well, we have specific Gen 4 SSDs. Okay, that's great. But you know what? We're doing it now in PC. So don't you think that they're using Gen 4 PC parts in their dev kits when they first started? And they're still going to continue that on. They're in Gen 4 right now. Gen 5 is a small jump, yet again, just like Gen 4 was a small jump from Gen 3. Now, when you do that, Gen 6 will be really the major jump. And we won't see that for a little bit. But Gen 5 is right around the corner. And what did they say? Don't worry about Gen 4 because Gen 5 is right around the corner. And all of a sudden now it's like, you know what? Don't worry about Gen 5 because Gen 6 is coming around the corner and we've advanced the technology that much that it's not going to make a difference. When you see the figures of what Gen 3 and Gen 4 can do, yes, it could do more. It could do, what was it? The highest was about 35,000 and change on Gen 3. Okay, and that's just reading. But when you're writing, I've seen people using WD and they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's great. But you're not using the maximum potential there. You're not using the maximum that all these other consoles, these SSDs can do. All right. These are NVMEs. They are fast as hell. Now, when you're not using it to the best of the potential, guess what? The write is only like 28,000. So you're not as much as you are in reading. But really, when it comes to consoles, you don't need that much in writing. You need a reading to be there. And right now we're at 56,000. At first, the Gen 4 when they came out was at 42,000, right? So 35 to 42,000. Yeah, that's a big difference when you look at the minuscule scale that is. But overall, when you're talking about these speeds that we're doing with these games as large as they are and the technology that's behind them, it's nothing. So, we're getting to that point that these consoles are actually PCs. So what do you think we're doing? We're
X86,
on a PC,
baby.
Exactly. We're on a PC that's more powerful. We're going to bring it back down. And it's the same thing that's going on with Xbox. Okay, so here's your part two. Your Xbox. Why did they not say Xbox only? I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to sit there and market it the wrong way where all of a sudden when someone finds out, oh, why did they have pop-in? Well, because it's a PC. It's not, the dev kit is not an actual Xbox. It's not
the
yet.
Velocity architecture.
Right. It's not doing it yet. Velocity architecture is a little bit different. Just like whatever Sony's doing is a little bit different than how PC is going. But guess what? PC's going there too eventually.
Yeah.
So, and that's, everybody's looking at it one way or the other, and it's not black and white. There's so much grayscale in all this. There's so much change that's going on right now when it comes to all this stuff. So do you want them to lie to you, or do you want them to bend the truth a little bit?
I want the honest truth. That's the way I am.
That's the main thing. I want the honest truth.
You
never
get that when it comes to corporations, man. They're all about what's in your wallet. That is it. I don't care what corporation it is, but dude, I gotta say,
at the bottom dollar.
I gotta say, Dredd, I am gonna start calling you, and I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna start calling you the SSD whore, because I feel
I
like
am.
you absolutely love SSDs. Like I can hear your voice kind of get like more excited when you're like, I'm gonna talk about these right now. Like I know what's going on here. I'm gonna talk about these. People are gonna understand what I'm saying, brother. Always good to hear that.
I am a techie when it comes to that, and the thing is, I just cannot stand the misleading truths behind SSDs. You know, everybody talks about SSD, and they're usually talking about like the Samsung T5s, right? That is an SSD, but it's based on the the SATA 3 transmission. So it's only going 600 megabits fast. Okay, so when you're going at that speed at 600, but they only do 550. We're talking about 3,500. Okay, your spinners are about 100 to 120, and then you could probably tweak it out a little bit faster to 150, maybe even 180, depending on which one you have. Now, when you're talking about 100 to 3,500, that's a huge difference. Okay.
Yeah.
4,600 is where we're at with these new consoles. So when people are saying, "Oh yeah, SSD," they don't even know what they're talking about. There's so many different varieties. You have different SSDs will actually have a little bit of RAM on there for different to add on for the speed for the information. Some of them don't even have controllers. So there's a lot of stuff out there. So yeah, when I do get a little excited, it's because sometimes I see that a lot of people don't understand it and they get misled by others that don't understand it either.
Well,
it's sorry for getting too technical.
Oh no, it's always awesome to be able to give people a venue to talk about, things that they know, things that they're interested in talking about, and like I said, man, it's good to hear the excitement in your voice. That was the main thing to me. I'm like, man, he really likes talking about this particular part of it, and dude, it sounds awesome. But again, like I said, there's people out there that kind of put it out there that Xbox, they've been putting their games, they've been showing gameplay on PC. So I am gonna bring it to another panel member, and we are gonna go with Predator. You heard, man. I know you heard it on social media. People talking about how Xbox hasn't shown games, running on the Series X. And before I finish that, before I forget, I have to shout out Z Black Rider in the chat, hitting up that super chat. What is up, brother? It is always great to see you in the chat. He said, go easy on Brap when we were talking about Enrique and his PC. He said, go easy on Brap. He loves that 60 frames per second, 720p experience. I hope I said that right, Z Black Rider. Man, I tried to say it exactly how it was typed. So hopefully I did that justice right there. And again, shout out to Enrique, man. Dude, don't listen to everybody, man. You got a PC, you game on a PC. You will be building your PC, so you're all good, bro. You're all good.
You can't be using that master race mock. You gotta. I mean, come on.
He could still use PCMR, but would it be like mediocre race then?
Yeah.
Pre-built master race.
Yeah, PC mediocre race.
Pre-built master race.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
Moderate race.
Moderately powerful race.
Right.
Yeah. But Pred, okay, like I said, people out there, and I was scratching my head about this as well, because PlayStation at their PS5 reveal, these games running on PS5, but with the state of play, they said it was running on PS5, and then when they got to the gameplay part, they said PS5 dev kit. And I think me and you both know there is a difference when it comes to the consumer product and the dev kit. All right. So am I just blowing smoke out of my ass here? Or it doesn't seem like PlayStation is fine with saying that, the dev kit is the PlayStation 5. That is PlayStation 5 gameplay. And why do you think that we haven't seen games running on at least the Series X dev kits by now, bro?
I think I don't know if that's intentional. I mean, like, well,
It
you know what? For the past couple of E3s, you see they'll show gameplay footage, and we find out later it was run on, a dev kit. Like, I think we're all used to that by now. You can't come out and say it's running on a PlayStation 5 when it's really running on a PlayStation 5 dev kit, and have that banner put right there in small print. Like it kind of looks deceiving. But when haven't these companies deceived us in the past?
yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna put this in the game, and then it doesn't come out. I mean, like one of my most anticipated games, Cyberpunk this year. Um, they keep taking shit out of the game they said was going to be in the game earlier. Like it happens. Like they have to scale back. Some things aren't running the way they're supposed to run. When they get to the final product of the game, they got to pull things back. So um, keep in mind the consoles aren't out yet. And I don't even know if they've been built yet, to be honest with you. So they have to put them on something. So they're going to give you what the best gameplay they possibly can, running on whatever PC they possibly can. Even when you guys go to E3, like, are you playing on a system? Or are you playing on a PC?
Oh, you're
Game
playing
X.
on a PC. Yeah, you're playing on a
Yeah.
PC.
So like,
Yeah.
you're playing those games on PC. So like,
Mhm.
we should be used to this by now. Don't get caught up in the lingo and the words. Wait till the game comes out and then make a judgment based off of what you playing on the system that you're playing it on. We all get caught up on what we see on screen. Just like what we were talking about Godfall a while ago. Like it's a alpha. I mean, I think it's like a pre-build, a previous build of the game. Same with Halo. It's a previous build of the game. Remember when Gears came out and people were saying, "Oh, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look good at all." And they had the beta, whatever came out, and it
The,
looked
the
all
multiplayer beta, yeah.
yeah. But then when the game came out, it looked fucking amazing. So like, just wait till the final product. The only reason we haven't seen, to me, I think the only reason we haven't seen full fledged either Xbox and or PlayStation gameplay of their games so far is I think they're just playing that cat and mouse game again. Like they're waiting to see. Like even I don't think we've even seen stuff from third party running on these consoles yet, if I'm not mistaken. Like I think it's all been PC stuff. So like I think even though they can sit there and try and break it down on fucking on on those whatever show that is
Digital
Digital Foundry.
Foundry, yeah.
Yeah, they can try and break down that shit. That's not the final product. I mean, we can make memes and make jokes and all this other shit, and I think it actually ruins the community when we do that to each other. Like we're basing our judgment off of something that's just meant to show us what they're working on, not the final product of the actual game. And so we sit there and we bash it so far out in advance that it turns people off from actually wanting to buy the game. There's a small group of people in there that actually look at Twitter and look at the stuff, and they believe what they see on Twitter,
Oh
and
my
they base
goodness.
their judgment based off of like boneheads saying dumb shit, trying to be frauds on social media, and people put that shit in their mind. Well, I heard this, I heard that. Well, like, who told you that? Or what is this guy I follow? I'm like, well, he
Dude,
doesn't work
believe
for
it or not, I'm in a couple DMs where you would think you're kind of like the privacy of just a couple people being in a DM, that it would be a lot lighter as opposed to the public arena of Twitter. But it's like 3 times worse in the DM in terms of kind of like BS being talked about like gaming platforms and stuff like that.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
It's crazy, dude. It is like, it is so insane. You figured like you're away from the public eye, you can be a little more kind of like relaxed, but hell no. They're going in foaming at the mouth, like teeth showing. Yo, the metal leash is at its tightest it can be. It's insane, yo.
I mean, like we'll get the gameplay footage. I think I don't know when these events are coming up in August, but I think that will be when we start seeing the real actual gameplay footage of these running on the actual consoles. So.
I do think it's interesting though that when it comes down to it, they haven't shown that Xbox hasn't shown gameplay running off the dev kit. Even if it's just the dev kit, it kind of takes all that away. I want to see the velocity architecture in action, not the PC struggling and popping in clouds and stuff on Halo Infinite. I want to see that velocity architecture in action before I decide what console I'm buying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. And like I said, we'll get that gameplay and stuff like that at some point in time, and hopefully it's sooner than later because we're getting in the middle of August now, and I'm getting a little antsy my damn self. So they need to bring this shit.
Chris, no, we didn't. If Halo Infinite was running on a PC rig, the velocity architecture was not in that rig. We did not see that. Okay, brother? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm being honest, Chris. I hope you can be as well. My moderator. All right, man. But let's go to K Mega on this. I think K Mega might have some things to say about this. Now, K Mega, you heard what I saw when it came to Godfall. Whoa, that rhymed. I've been listening to a lot of Big Pun lately, so it's in my head. So, but there's evidence there that Sony thinks that the PlayStation 5 dev kit is the PlayStation 5, which, you know, you go back to the PS5 reveal and they're like, from here on out, this is all PS5 gameplay. Is it a stretch for me to think, all right, well, that's all dev kit stuff right there. You know, dev kits equipped with more system memory, stuff like that, so this way they can overbuild the game and then scale it back down. And then, of course, you know, I feel it's an interesting question. Why do you think we haven't seen games running on the Series X dev kit? What are your thoughts, man?
For one reason, this is why I don't even really pay attention to a lot of that rhetoric, because I didn't even jump into the Puddlegate stuff, because I'm like, the game is going to come out, it's still going to look good. But PlayStation has always been known for showing crazy visuals for games for 2 or 3 years, and then that game is downgraded because it's trying to fit on because it's fitted on a console that's just not up to the power of what the dev kit is. It is what it is. I mean, there's no second guessing it. It's just the facts. Now, what you will see is, though, for the games that you've seen, that for like Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, once they get on the PlayStation 5, they're going to look like what you've seen when they showed those trailers in the beginning. But that's going to be the older stuff. The newer stuff, like what we're seeing, we're going to get the same thing with Sony. Sony just does it, and nobody don't question it. It is what it is, whatever. So for everybody questioning for what Xbox does, you would think that they would shut up, because Xbox numerous times has killed that narrative tenfold. It all started off with Gears 4, even games before that, but it started with Gears 4. Then we seen how Gears really looked. It did the same thing with Gears 5. They waited until the last minute to show what Gears 5, the story and all that other stuff. And then when we see that they keep on enhancing Gears, and Gears just looks better and better. I'm like, if you try, I don't know when the last time you booted up Gears. I booted up Gears last week, and I was like, damn, can this game not keep getting better looking? I'm like, and it's going to get better looking when it gets on the Series X.
Yeah.
So there's these technology. Obviously, Xbox is playing their cards, is holding on to them, because maybe that technology is not fully ready yet, or it's just the fact that they want to bait people to keep on making these speculations. Because what happens is that once people keep thinking that you're going to get a whole bunch of game full of Craigs, then you're actually going to see what the technology really is and how beefy that the console is going to be once people start actually showing the gameplay from those consoles. I think that maybe that might be the new strategy that they're doing, because it has worked for them. It's worked for years. It's worked for everything else.
Incredibly risky, especially at this point in time.
Not necessarily, because if you think about it, Sony's been going around doing it for years with the smoke and mirrors. Nobody don't say anything. We know that people are a lot more objective about Xbox, but if they think that like games like
Crackdown did look good, Z.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like other games Crackdown looked good. I mean, the multiplayer just didn't live up to the game looked good. It wasn't awful looking at all.
The campaign was, especially with that HDR at night. Yeah. Oh my goodness, bro.
That's where it shined with the neon seating and everything. It looked good in all the colors and everything. Yeah, it looked good. Now, this is the thing that, out of everything, is just what you was just saying earlier, just a few seconds ago, is that how long will it be before people just start, because we already starting to get to the second guessing, and how long are you going to keep playing chicken with the gaming community? Because already, if you've seen it, both companies is playing chicken. People they keep saying we got more information. Yeah, I can't stand
this, man.
We're in August. August. Right now, we at the point that should be excited for Gamescom and what other games is going to be happening. And then they're already showing what these new consoles can do. But they're playing chicken so much, and they can do it because there's nothing, because there's no shows or anything available, that we might even get pushed to damn near October, to maybe the first, maybe in the middle of September, before we actually start seeing something that be reminiscent of what for what you're waiting for what everybody
Brother,
else
we
is
need
waiting for
E3
all
back,
this
man.
consoles.
We need
That's
E3
what I'm saying.
back,
E3 hurt. E3 not being around has hurt a lot of things. I would never hope that, and for anybody out there that just go ahead and just I don't know, just put yourself in a car trunk and just close it and just go to sleep. Because if you keep on just saying that there should be no E3, man, I don't know. Yeah, it just don't make any sense at this point, because now you see that the companies and that Xbox, you have to appreciate that the fact that they really want to try to win this mind share, that Xbox is just as hungry as PlayStation on this aspect, but it's also making people too antsy, and the gaming community is not a community that likes to wait, and that's all we've been had to do is wait. And then when you see the state of play, and then when you see stuff from Ubisoft and from everybody else, that just, it's cool, but it's just not
lackluster.
It's just not like bam, like E3 would have been. Just think about this, how E3 would have been with all of these dope ass games that we've seen all combined into one. And how Xbox event would have been, how Sony's event would have been, how Ubisoft's show would have been, how everything else would have been going around. And I can't even imagine how much crazy fun that I could just bring back and show you guys, and showing content of me playing certain games off of these dev kits and stuff like that. It would just be an awesome and fantastic experience. But now we have to deal with this situation, and it's just not. And everybody is doubting that this next gen is going to deliver, and they're going to deliver on both consoles. The PlayStation 5 is going to be a beast. I mean, just think about the gap between the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, and just from the PlayStation Pro to the PlayStation 5. That is a significant difference. So, and then you got the Xbox that's even greater than the Xbox One X. And there's times that I can look at certain games and I'm like, damn, that is breathtaking. Like I look at Ghost of Tsushima, and there's times that I'm just looking like, that is breathtaking. Even after the downgrade. I mean, it is what it is, but it's still breathtaking. So just imagine what these consoles are going to be like when they get there. It's just that everybody is playing chicken because they want to wait to show their biggest hand at the last moment to make everybody say, "Oh, that's the last," because that's in everything with business. That's what they care about. Is, hey, that's the last thing that we see is
who laughs first, laughs best, basically. And yo, K Mega, since you brought it up real quick before we do kind of like move on to the rest of the panel, I gotta ask you, man. Who do you think is going to come out first with the price of their console? Damn.
I think Sony.
You think Microsoft's going to press it to that point where Sony has to?
I think reluctantly and probably out of there, not. I don't know. I think it's just Sony's just going to do it. I think it's going to get to the point to where they even going to know that that's going to be heat.
There's a lot riding on that price point.
There's a lot of riding on that price point, and I think Sony's just going to say, look, this is where we are. This is where we find with. The only way that I see Xbox doing it is if they feel overly confident that Sony has to match or they can't match. That's the only way. That's the only way. If it comes down to, and I know that the Lockhart and all that other stuff, but what we're just talking about for the actual consoles, for the Series X and for the PS5.
Snaps is in the chat, brother.
It's I think Sony's gonna make it first. I think they're gonna do their big announcement for their last big announcement, whenever that's gonna be, and then they're gonna drop the price, and then they're gonna say, hey, the ball's in your court, Xbox, and then that we're gonna see.
Okay, all right, that was interesting. Yo, since you brought it up, I figured we would go there. You know what I'm saying? And the pause before the answer shows that it is kind of up in the air right now.
It's up in the air now. It is.
And I feel that when it comes down to it, you look through all the past E3s. Microsoft has always gone first. You know what? I'm kind of rooting. Let PlayStation go first this time. Let's see how because they have always been reactionary. Instead of being the first out there, they've always reacted to what's been shown before they came out on stage. It would be really interesting to see them be more proactive and come out first. And shout out to Tommy Jordan. Tommy, when it comes to E3, he said Sony had over 80 million people watching the event, so why do they need E3? Tommy, I'm not saying these companies and these corporations need E3. I'm saying the gamers do. Tommy, instead of focusing on what would benefit Sony, think about what would benefit you. All right? If you feel like this kind of like this drip feed of information is good for you, more power to you. But I can honestly say with an amount of confidence that a lot of gamers out there are getting fed up with the dripping of information, the creeping of moving forward in terms of what's going on with these consoles. I think there's a lot of gamers out there is like, you know what? If E3 was here,
expectations just not getting met.
No.
The longer that you wait, the more the people keep speculating, and then they get that it's a letdown.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who
man.
was it last night? Was that Lemon last night that said, like, would we have even seen half of the shit we've seen so far? If it
Right. He said he was right. Lemon said that if some of the stuff that we've seen on State of Play wouldn't have been talked about at E3, we would have been at E3 to play.
Somewhere.
Yeah, we would have been at E3 and found that shit, and we would have been playing it, talking about it. He's absolutely right.
Nice.
Absolutely right.
Well, and then another thing I do like about E3, besides it being that one place where all gamers can go and hang out and check out what's coming that's new. Whether you're a PC gamer, you strictly play on any of the consoles or whatnot, but it's a place for all gamers. The other thing I like about it is the companies, the corporations don't control the narrative. So if they come out and say something is, PlayStation or Xbox gameplay, you'll have journalists in there that be like, no, excuse me, we did see a PC underneath that podium. What was that for? So they get called out when it comes to an event like E3. Like I said, you can't think about what's good for the corporation. You got to think about what's good for the consumer, aka the gamer, because that's what you are. All right, you're not the CEO. You're not working at Sony. At least I don't think you are. Jordan, are you a Sony employee? Let me know, man. But other than that, think about your people over here, the consumers, man. I swear that's where it should be. Shout out to Z Black Rider, hitting up that super chat one more time. He said, "Hi, Mel." Oh, okay, I see how it is. What's the voltage on that taser? No, bro, it's not gonna happen. It is not going down. Okay, no.
Damn, he paid money. He paid money to tell hello to your girl and say tase your man's ass.
And then what's that voltage on that taser? Yeah.
Disrespect.
That's all right. Supersonic Station. He put up a survey on Twitter of what part of my body should get tased. It's been interesting, and no, that's not happening, people. But on that note, let me go to my brother Crispy. Yo, Crispy. Again, like I said, I think I have found proof that, Sony and PlayStation feel that the PlayStation 5 dev kit is the PlayStation 5 in terms of gameplay. I want to know what you think about that, if you think that could possibly be what's going on with what I've already shared. And then, of course, I think it's the bigger question. I know it's a question that a lot of people have been asking. What's going on with Xbox here in terms of gameplay coming from a Series X, aka Series X dev kit? Like, when do you think we're going to see that? Why haven't we seen that yet?
Well, I'm going to be honest. Like, the first question you have to ask yourself is, is a PC spec build equal to a dev kit, and that's hard to say because if
No, it's
they're
not.
if they're being honest with each other, the architecture involved with the software in Series X is not going to be placed on, what
Hold on,
a
Crispy.
PC
Alex
specs
wants me dead. If she tases me in the armpit, there's a lot of sensitive things under your arm that I could die, bro. What are you talking about, man? But go ahead, Crispy.
but well, I mean, a lot of people want to see it now. So you're
Damn,
out of
Dread. How could you
What?
do me
What?
dirty like that, bro?
I didn't say nothing.
But yeah, I mean, we have to ask ourselves, like, I understand that both companies are behind a little bit. I mean, clearly there's a reason for it. Let's not deny it. I know a lot of people want to deny it, and that's fine. I'm cool with it. But guess what? It's facts, bro. Come on. So both companies are a little bit behind. The only thing I say is that you've already seen the Series X get broken down by even Digital Foundry of all people. So you think about that for a second. Not only that, but you have multiple people, including Phil, saying he's playing his Series X right now. So I feel like Xbox is playing a game of chicken even bigger than they ever have, because usually they would just say, here's the price, here's the console, here's this and that. I feel like this confirms that Lockhart is real, number one, because I feel like they would probably show gameplay on Lockhart if that was, your lower end and you drop the price at the end and you see those games. That would be pretty incredible. And the point I have to make is that PlayStation, we haven't seen anything besides speculation on the specs of the console, not actually breaking it down and showing us what it does. And Xbox has already done this. So your questions kind of are already answered.
I think they think they did that with Mark Cerny, though, even though like half the people, like, unless you, and man, I'm thinking out loud on this because they said that was for developers, but I mean, they talked about certain things already when it comes to the hardware.
Yeah, they talked about it, but did they break down the components? Did they show you what the console's actually made of? And
no.
This is typical Sony, and they do these things all the time. They throw a little shade here and there. I mean, dynamic 4K. We can go back years upon years of just constant shade throwing here and there, and that's their marketing. And I'm not dissing their marketing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's actually pretty smart. But I feel like Xbox is just a little bit smarter right now when it comes to what they have in their back pocket. And it's very hard to tell if what they have in their back pocket is actually something that's incredible or something that we're going to sit there and be like, nah, we're good. And that's the weird part of it, is usually Microsoft be like, here, you get this. I mean, they can go down to 400, I'm sure, for the Series X, and they just throw it out there. You know what I'm saying?
If
and
Sony says 500, if
forever.
Sony says 500, Xbox is definitely going 400 for the Series X.
I believe that truly, because they're more about the subscriptions. They're more about, how many people can we get in their ecosystem. And that's the difference between the two companies. And I'm not saying that one's wrong or the other. What I'm saying is that they have two different trajectories, and those trajectories can still make them both money. And it's not
Crispy.
illogical.
Crispy, check this out. Now, dual purpose. Again, I shouted him out. He is here absolutely every week. I think we can all definitely say he is a PlayStation fan. But he brought up a great point. He says, be honest, Phil was playing the Series X in 2019. What's the delay? Like, I gotta kind of side with him on that. Like, I hear you saying chicken and all that good stuff. I don't like that, though, man.
But it's dude, have we ever seen Microsoft do what they did at the GMAs, bro? The Game Awards, bro.
No,
Did we ever see that?
No.
We never seen that. And you know what? They have hired a lot of people that have different thought processes than what we're used to from Microsoft throughout the past couple years. Okay, Phil is not ignorant to the fact that we have a lot of different things going on, and why not? I mean, dude, the Craig is hilarious to me.
Craig is all
Because
powerful. Nobody messes with Craig.
I played the Gears 4. Go look up Gears 4 beta and go watch that and look at the locusts. And
Dude,
I'm
I
going to tell
played
you
it.
something right now, bro. Some of the worst character models I've ever seen in my life. And I was doubting what they were going to do. And then Gears 4 came out and I was like, holy what?
But
This is not even close.
Like almost at least like a year before the game dropped?
Months. It was 8 months.
8 months.
It was 8 months.
So that's what, about double then in terms of
No, because that kit because what Craig was on something from January to March, so it was around the same time.
Well, 343 said a few weeks back, so like they
No,
weren't being
that wasn't a
specific
few
about
weeks
that.
back. Yeah,
But that was 343.
that-
I'm gonna take what 343
Yeah.
says on that, man.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
they said a few weeks, but they wasn't a few weeks back because they also said, because you've seen what Aaron Greenberg and you've seen what other people said as well. That was from 343 that said that's just a mess. I don't even know why they even showed that thing like they did, but regardless.
Well, dude,
Yeah,
they were
regardless, that
damned
thing
if they
is
do,
so-
damned if they don't at that point.
Right.
Yeah, if they didn't show
Right.
it,
That's it, right?
If
No,
you looked
in the real world, they normally wouldn't have showed it.
If you looked at the Gears 4 beta, you would have seen that the COG characters, which are the heroes, okay, actually looked 10 times better than the Locust characters, which it just makes me think, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, these
well, that's
these,
the case with Master Chief then, because
these
look
evil these your enemy looks far worse than what Master Chief looked like, and I'm like, this just reminds me of something, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you know, and you have to realize when it said demo, I was like, okay, this was built a little while ago. It wasn't just built right now. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, with everything going on, I mean, everybody's working from home. I mean, everybody
Dude, again, this isn't The Last of Us Part 2. You cannot use that. I am sorry.
You know what? Last
from
of Us
Twitter
Part
court.
2 should have been a launch title for PlayStation 5. There you go. Ghost of Tsushima should have been a launch title for PlayStation 5.
I would say 1 and 1. You do 1 on the PS4. You know, you bring over kind of like that momentum into the PS5. I think that would have been cool that way. You know what I'm saying? But
Ghost of Tsushima, I think, should have been a launch title for PS5.
it would have looked like the original reveal then. Oh,
actually. You know, I mean, you got ray tracing and everything else from what they say, so. Why
According
not,
to
right?
Mr. 100, it's called race tracing, so I think we need to all embrace that. Yo, shout out to my brother.
Am I playing Forza? What?
Shout out to my brother Sir X-Man. He said, you forgot my xCloud sup chat earlier. Should read. So, brother, I am going to go back on that. You know what it is, dude? You are such a major supporter, and you hit up the super chat so much that I might miss one or two, man. I do apologize on that. I am going to be looking for it right now as we go here. So, Crispy, do you have anything else to kind of round off?
Let's
your
hold
point
our expectations. Let's hold our expectations for a little while. We see dev kits. We see, PC builds that are supposed to, basically be what the game is. Let's hold our expectations. Understand that we're getting into a time where finally people are coming together, starting to do things. And, one of them, they're probably playing chicken, to be honest with you.
And
they're
I don't like that.
in a big game. And that's why I'm kind of frustrated, because I used, E3 was like, bam, 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 here we go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And E3 needs to still be here. I want to go to E3. I've never been to California. I want to go there, and I want to have a good reason to go there. So please do not get rid of E3. That's what I got to say about that.
Nice. And I did find it, Sir X-Man. I do apologize, brother, but I did give you a win in the golf club, so that evens out. So he said, Microsoft did say xCloud will play on their lower Xboxes. Also, they said that when they first introduced xCloud, and that is another great point. And now, when it comes down to it, we already know kind of like ending production on certain Xbox Ones and stuff like that. For people who do hold on to them, though, xCloud would be a great option if they want to get in, if they don't mind, because I don't think it's ever going to feel the same streaming a game through xCloud. I don't think it's ever going to feel the same as playing it natively on your console. But if you can deal with even that if it turns out to be that slightest latency or whatnot, I would definitely say that is an option for people, and it does bring more people into the xCloud community. So shout out to you, Sir X-Man. That was an awesome super chat, and I am so sorry I missed it. But I think everybody has covered this topic. I think it was really interesting, and I think it's something that, you know, not a lot of people talk about. You know, when it comes down to it, why is Xbox using PC for gameplay and not using the dev kits, especially since in development time, you know, these consoles are going to come out right around the corner. You guys in the chat, you know, people who listen to the show afterwards, you guys heard the opinions. I always want to know what you guys think about that. But guys, I think that's pretty much our show. We didn't get to our extra topics, but I am very proud of the panel. We did cover 4 topics tonight, which is a record for recent next podcast kind of like episodes. I am really proud of you guys for that. And I do have a big announcement when it comes to next podcast. It is something I have been tossing around for a while. When it comes to scheduling and stuff, it has become harder and harder to go live on Saturday. All right. And I didn't want to just retire this show and move on. So what we are doing, starting next week, we are moving to a brand new day. Guys, next podcast will be moving to Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, starting next week and moving forward from there. So yes, we are leaving Saturdays, but we are not leaving you guys, and I hope you guys can all tune in on Thursdays. With that being said, I am also working on another live show with my brother Jamie Moran that will be starting up in the next couple weeks. I will share more information on Twitter when it comes to that, but this will be an Xbox only show. When it comes to the chat, no talking about other platforms. When it comes to the panel, we are not going to be talking about other platforms. We are going to talk about the past, the present, and the future of the Xbox platform. And again, I will be sharing more information on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, my Twitter tag is at xbot448. Definitely follow me there, and you will get up-to-date information on that show as well. Guys, panel, shout out to you guys. You guys did an absolutely tremendous job. I think, you know, the topics are only half of the equation, but you need the panel there that isn't afraid to say things that, other gamers out there, people in the chat, people who watch the show afterwards, you're not afraid at what they might think. You just, you put that common sense out there. You see what direction is kind of being driven when it comes to certain topics. And I love the fact that this panel right here, including our extended family member, Dreadpool. I am a #1 Dreadite, by the way. The #1 Dreadite. I love the fact that you guys are not afraid to share your opinions. Great show, guys. But it is time to wind it down. It's Saturday night. The gamers got to get the controllers in their hands. And, like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in And I'm not starting with Predator tonight. I am not doing it. I usually go last for this panel member. He's going first tonight. K Mega. You know, coming off of GRG on Fridays, coming over here and still doing next podcast on Saturday nights as well, man. I appreciate all your time and dedication. I think it's going to be a good move going to Thursday. But you got to let people know about your YouTube channel, you know, what's going on with GRG. Of course, you're doing a lot of streaming now as well. You got to let them know all that stuff. And you're a professional. I know you can do it, bro.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And I also got an announcement, too. Was just waiting for you to do your announcement. So let me go ahead and do my thing. Since you are moving to Thursdays, or I should say we're moving to Thursdays, then that gives the opportunity to finally have a stable time for the Dev and the Gamer. So we can move it to Saturdays. And so we can do it. So we can move Dev and the Gamer to Saturdays. Me and Don already talked about this after I told him about, you know, what was the plan for you and everything. And so what we do, we won't be late. We'll be early. So we'll be somewhere in between.
It's not the Bigfoot of gaming shows anymore.
Yeah, it won't be the Bigfoot of gaming shows. So what we will do with Dev and the Gamer, it will be after Grown Women Gaming, because we got to show love and respect to them, and then it'll be probably sometime in between Strumcast, what Luca and them does. So, okay. But they kind of jump around. But I think a lot of people is going to start adjusting to this point time slot once you move to Thursday. So that's why it gives us that time to where
we're switching up the whole thing. Just one show.
Yeah, we're switching
moving.
up the whole. The one show is going to move a lot of people to doing all the stuff. So Devin the Game is going to be on Saturday. So we locking that. It probably won't. It will probably do like we always do every other Saturday, not every Saturday. It's according to how people will adjust to that. But we'll finally just won't be completely just random like we have been for the last year and a half since we've been doing Devin the Gamer. So get ready for that. Also the GRG podcast every Friday night, 8:30 Central. Man, appreciate the support given since I've been out of YouTube jail. Man, thank you so much. And it seemed like I'm back to my old routine, because that's kind of like, you know, I was always doing next podcast and then moved to doing a show that was on Thursdays before, and then Saturdays. So now I'm going to be back doing it, but then it's going to be Xbox. I think
it's going to be a different show than what used to be on Thursdays.
Yeah, than what I used to be on Thursdays. Yeah, it's going to be a lot different. So it's going to so I'll be doing that Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing, and then that means I got the whole week free to do what I need to do. And then of course Saturday nights, I mean, it can be finally me and time for my wife. So you know, having a couple of date
4
nights,
feet
things
in that
like
foot
that.
massager right there, man.
And foot massages. That's exactly right. Yes. So anyway, so check out that, and then of course I'll be streaming later on tonight with Don. Don't know, he's talking about Sea of Thieves, but I will not play Sea of Thieves without a crew. So if anybody's down to want to play some Sea of Thieves tonight, come and let us know. We'll probably be doing it here about God's time, which will be about 10:30 Central Time. And we'll get down and do it. If not, then we'll be playing something else to stream on Twitch. You can catch me there, KMega405 there. And then, of course, last but not least, man, thank you, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's crazy. For all these years we've been, Saturday has been next podcast, and to move it to Thursdays, it feels pretty weird, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. It's all good.
I remember when we first started this, and I think I've said this maybe a couple times within the last 3 years, but when I first started Next Podcast and started brainstorming with K Mega, the first thing I said is, we got to compete with Weapon Wheel. And he's like, nah, bro, we're coming out of nowhere here. Dude, you know, looking back, I think we could have done it, man. I really think we could have.
I mean, we could have, but I mean, I don't know. Not at the start, because I mean that podcast it's still big, and it was a behemoth to where it's kind of like, even where I think with the growth with, you know, I'm still surprised every time that I see the growth of GRG. But if GRG was where its original slot was before, when Mooch and them left, and then Mooch didn't come and ask me to, you know, hey man, I'm thinking about coming back. Is it all right? And big shout out to Mooch, because he came to me and he wasn't an asshole, because I mean, I came to him and said, hey, was it cool to take that slot? And he said, yeah, you know, on Friday nights. And so I was like, all right, here GRG coming at this time. And then he decided he wanted to come back, and then he asked me first, like, hey, is it all right, man? Can you guys move down? And I'm like, look, man, Crossfire, that's y'all's time. It is what it is. I ain't trying to step on nobody's toes.
Yeah.
And so, and so for us being kind of like the late night podcast, it's been cool, man. I mean, if we moved to that time slot, we would have been we would have had a lot more views because of that time, but it really doesn't matter. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, and we all know each other and do this shit together, so it's no big deal. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Nice, brother. And next on the list, I'm gonna have to go with my brother Predator. Predator, you were on fire tonight, and what I like about you, man, you can set this show ablaze, and you're still quick about it. Like it's amazing. You could prove your point. You can drop bombs, and then before you know it, you're like, yeah, all right, well, next topic. I'm done with this one. Always good to have you a part of this show, brother. We are moving to Thursdays, and you know what time it is, man. You gotta let people know where they can go to talk games with you, brother. And if there's anything you want to announce, now is the time.
I didn't know we were moving to Thursdays, man. I can't do Thursdays, man.
Yo, I already talked to you in a DMA. Yo, don't you even.
I said we gotta find another brother then. If that's the case, I can't be doing with all these white boys. I'm just playing.
Oh shit. Oh man. Yeah, man. Thursdays is good, man. That's actually a good time slot. I mean, I love doing Saturdays. Even my wife ain't here right now. She's deployed, so that was usually our weekends, and I always have to schedule stuff around. The show, because she's like, what time is your podcast? We're going to do this. I'm like, we need to do this shit by 12. So that's good, man. We're back on Thursdays, and, whatever. It is what it is. And you get the same content, and hopefully some of these assholes that are in your chat won't be able to show up.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I appreciate all the assholes in my chat. Even the creepers, just not the ones that try to report me all the time, man. I don't like that, yeah.
Speaking of which,
yeah, but yo, we're still on air, so we're good. All right, brother. Did you say your Twitter and everything, bro?
Oh, it's Predator_HOS on Twitter. You guys, you fucking follow me. If you ain't follow me yet, do it.
Do it now. Do it now.
Do it now.
Yeah. All right, and next on the list, I'm going to go with that hardcore Gears fan. And yes, he does play other games, mostly Mortal Kombat after Gears. But, yo, Crispy, 2 nights in a row. So you're on Crossfire, and, of course, you're always here on next podcast, man. I don't know if you're looking for your voice to get a break, or if you're just warming up and you can go another marathon, but it's always good to talk games with you, brother. I'm glad that you're here every week. Why don't you let people know about the multiple shows that you're on, and of course, where they can go to talk games with you personally, brother?
Always, man, and I feel a little salt on my shoe. I don't know what's going on here.
You work in a meat department. Salt is a preservative, so I can see why you would get that, bro.
What are you back in the 1900s, bro? Like, come on, man. We going to Thursday,
not
baby.
A preservative,
Let's
man.
go, bro. Let's go.
Crispy, you didn't know Xbot, when he fights, he throws up the thing. Let's fight, see? I got you, see? Let's go.
Catch me. Yo, honestly, O-Snaps probably does that voice the absolute best I've ever heard. Yo, I swear.
Oh, man, the salt is crunching now. Oh man.
My goodness. Yo, tell them about your shows and Twitter, bro. Come on, man.
At Crispy Bomb on Twitter, bro. You can find me on Retro Renegades Tuesday nights. You can find me on Thursday night on the next podcast.
Whoa!
And you can find me on Friday morning with Breakfast with Boom. And yeah, I'll see you. It's going to be fun because, I'm not used to this whole back-to-back thing, but let's do it, baby. Let's go.
It's fun, man. It's fun. Keeps you fresh, ready to go.
Nice. And of course, our extended family, my brother Dreadpool, which again, I will say I am the #1 Dreadite. I am a Dreadpool fan, so it is always a blast to have him available for this show. So it's always good to hear your opinions, man. The SSD whore himself. If you want to talk about SSDs, he's going to let you know exactly where you can get a hold of them for that. And of course, Dread, like I said, anything else you want to announce, anything you want to promote, now is the time, bro.
All right. Well, first, I'm really confused. We got a show going on Thursday, another one switching back on to Saturday. I don't know what to do. Oh my God! What's
Dude,
going
that's why
on
it's a
here?
good thing you follow
So
us.
many options.
You follow us on Twitter, so this way we will lay it all out for you, brother. So this way you will not miss any content from us, man.
No, I will not. I will always be following. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys having me on here. It's always a great time. I do have a special project that I am working on with a couple other creators, trying to do some stuff. But that's all I'm going to say about now because of this whole sickness going on. It's put a little damper on it, so it's not working in my favor.
Are you down
But
with the sickness, brother?
I am down with the sickness. I Disturbed is across my forehead.
Nice.
I've worn that hat for so many years.
Yes. Even Shax agrees. He said this is amazing.
So you can find me on Twitter at Dreadpool, the O's are Zeros, YouTube, Gamertag, and of course, I'm going to say it, Stadia.
Stadia
for the win, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
We gotta get a Dreadpool shirt that just says Stadia, but we gotta find a way to express how he says that now, in accordance to how he said it in the beginning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we gotta have fun with it. Everybody else is always, making fun of it. I don't care. My games are free so far. I've yet to pay for them other than the upfront pay for the controller and all that.
Ooh, I think he's flexing right now.
Yeah, whatever.
He flexing a little. He's getting a little bicep action going right there. A little flex, man.
It's basically I don't care.
I don't care.
Y'all can talk all about it you want. I don't care. It's a game. I'm gonna enjoy it. That's what this is about. Is having fun playing games no matter where we play them.
No doubt.
So as always, my DMs are open. I'm open to talk to anybody. Get something off your chest. That's cool. I will listen. I may not know what to say, but at least you get an ear. Nice. And right now, after we're done with the show, if Nuke Nukem is still on doing the community game night, I will be there.
Yeah, brother, I wanted to join that, and again, with freeing up Saturdays and stuff, like when people do community game nights, I'm there, when I can for fight night, I'm there to kick ass in Mortal Kombat, which K-Mega I did do. Thank you very much.
Whoa!
I did. Oh, not you. Don't take it personal. I didn't say you.
Okay,
I was saying you were a witness, brother. You were a witness, bro.
A witness of me thumping your head. I was wondering where Crispy was.
Why you gotta bring it down here to me and you? Me and you, it's always a good fight, bro. It's always a good fight.
Yeah. But I was waiting for Crispy to come in there too, because
where's Crispy at? Where is Crispy at when it comes to that, man?
That's what I forgot to talk about was fight night. I'm sorry.
There.
I knew there was something I was missing. Sunday night fight night, me, Sir X-Man, Don, Game Down Sights come in here with his little timid talking ass, but he'll beat the hell out of you because he's a monster. Just a lot of us, man. Just, Yobi, Xbox came in for a couple of times now. Hopefully that he can start being in there, and then of course me and just other people that's coming in. Vamp, she's missed a little bit. She's mad at us for a little bit, but she'll come back, and so she'll start getting mad and just beat our ass for a little bit. So it's good that we got a little bit of some parity. Oh yeah, man, just awful. But anyway, come check us out. The Sunday night Sunday night fight nights is every Sunday night at 9 Central. The Lord's time, or it's 10 o'clock Eastern, and it's I don't know, 7 Pacific.
10 o'clock
like
the Lord's time? Is that what you mean?
Oh no, anything from the West Coast can't be the Lord's time. I'm sorry, but that's okay.
Ah!
I almost forgot. Now that I think about it, I am going to be on Flamish's show tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good deal.
We finally figured out a day, so it's tomorrow.
Oh, beautiful! And shout out to Flamish. We played what's the golf game on Game Pass?
Friends with Golf.
Friends with Golf. And yo, dude, he's an absolute blast to play games with, man. He keeps it very lighthearted, and we're just joking around. Like, you know, there is a competitive side because there always is when you're going against somebody online in a game. But he keeps it all lighthearted. We're talking, just joking around back and forth. Real cool guy, man. I definitely want to game with this dude more, is what I'm saying. He needs to play Destiny 2. That's what it comes down to. He's got to play Destiny 2.
But we got to finish
dude,
the Shadow Keep.
Yo, dude, you have my
Let's
phone number. We got DMs on Twitter.
Let's do it tomorrow.
Okay, bro.
Or, you know what I'm saying? And I need to do golf, so let's do that tomorrow.
All right, well, you got to practice first. There's no way you're going to come in and beat us.
I'll come in here and I might just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, these God-given talents.
Is what you're looking for then, man.
That's fine. Y'all, you can have it. I don't care.
But guys, on that note, it is the weekend. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you guys for all the support. Yes, the 18-wheeler that is known as Next Podcast will be pulling in to the Thursday night slot. So get ready. Clear your calendars for Thursday nights because we will be going in the same way we do on Saturdays. We will do on Thursdays. Let people know. You know I will do that out on Twitter as well. Again,
what time will it be?
7 p.m. Eastern, the Lord's time, bro. All right. You're not gonna steal that. You're not gonna steal that. Yeah. But guys, get ready for a brand new page being turned when it comes to the Next Podcast. I am really excited for the things that are going on with this channel, for you guys, for the people out there supporting this channel. You want more content. You are gonna get more content, and it is right around the corner. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And I guess I got to change this. We will see you next Thursday for the Next Podcast. I think I got to work on the outro. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Oh, that's salt crunching, bro.
Peace.
Later.